All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Town of Fairmount Heights Mayor and Town Council meeting for the month of January for the year 2023. Happy New Year to everyone. May we progress as we move forward into 2023. At this time, I would like to officially call this meeting to order and again send greetings to the community and to those who are in the building. At this time, I would like to observe a moment of silence for our world and for the town of Fairmount Heights. Thank you all very much. At this time, would you all please stand and join me as we salute the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Madam Clerk to the Council, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Mayor Martin.
Present.
Councilmember Waiters. Councilmember Stewart. Councilmember White.
Present.
I see Councilmember Stewart. Councilmember Wood-Dotson. I see Councilmember Wood-Dotson. Councilmember Barnhart.
Present.
Councilmember Oscar.
Present.
All present.
Thank you very much. At this time, we have sets of minutes that have been dispersed to us by our clerk to the council. As everyone has the opportunity to review your minutes, the minutes are the September 13th work session, the October 11th work session, October 12th special meeting, October 19th town meeting, November the 14th work session, November the 21st special meeting, December the 21st town meeting, January the 10th executive session summary, and January the 10th work session. As the council has the opportunity to review your minutes.
These are ones in the email?
Yes.
I don't know about the rest of the council, but I've had the opportunity to read two sets of minutes, I'm sorry. But not all of the ones that you called, so I would ask, I don't know, pending the rest of the council, there's a portion of the minutes be tabled for what we have reviewed. I know that we see some errors, graphical errors. That's my response.
Okay. So would you like to make a motion that the minutes be approved with corrections?
Table, portion of the minutes. Table, I'm sorry, I'm trying to find my portion of the minutes be tabled.
Okay, so I guess you're going to have to identify those.
October the 10th, I did read it. See, on the special meeting, I did not.
Okay. So
November the
other-
14th, I have not had the opportunity to review. I have not had the opportunity to review the special meeting.
Okay, so can we proceed with corrections for those, some of the other members that are maybe on the line? We have a majority that has reviewed these minutes, so that we can get these.
Yeah, that was just my response.
Yeah, that's yours.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so at this time, I will accept the motion for the minutes that have been addressed to be approved with corrections.
Okay, Councilmember Waiters, you weren't heard.
Oh, okay.
Do I have to restate what I said? So I'll restate what I said. I was asking that a portion, pending the review of the rest of the mayor and council, I, in response to your question, have not had the opportunity to read all of the minutes that were read into record. I've only had the opportunity to read January the 10th, I believe I said, and October the 19th. I did not have an opportunity to read November 14, September 13, or the executive session.
Okay. All right, so at this time, I will accept the motion from either some of the members on the line or some that are in the room to approve the minutes per se that have been read out previously that I read. So that way, in order to, we can identify, for some of the people might have read the other sets. What is the pleasure of the council?
I've not read October 11th work session completely or September 13th work session.
Okay, are there any minutes here that have been completely read by all members? Let me just put it like that, because we could pull those out and table the rest. Or we can table all. I'll accept the motion either way.
So
What's
moved.
the pleasure?
So moved. Madam Mayor, I move that unless someone else has something to say or those on the line.
No one, I haven't
Okay, so we're going to table all the minutes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, motion's on the floor, table all minutes. You second?
I'll second.
Who's second?
Brianna White.
So you move, and you second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded that we table all of the minutes that have been listed previously. That would be September the 13th work session, October 11th work session, October 12th special meeting, October 19th town meeting, November the 14th work session, November the 21st special meeting, December the 21st town meeting, January 10th executive session summary, and January 10th work session. So our next meeting will be in February. We're going to need to have all of these reviewed and approved and ready for our next meeting. Is everyone in agreement with that?
Yes. The council members online say yes.
Okay.
I'm looking in the chat. I can't hear them.
All right. Okay. All right, motion's on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
I also need to make an amendment to the agenda as well.
Okay, all in favor? I didn't get the response
Okay,
yet.
Councilmember with see, I can't hear them with how it's set up. So if I unmute one, Councilmember Wood Dotson, are you speaking?
She says aye.
Okay.
See, I can't.
All right, everyone else is in agreement. Do we have,
I got some headphones here. You can't do it? Let me send it to you.
Hold on.
all right. Okay, did you get the roll call, Ms. Stanford?
Oh, I did not.
I think now those online, everyone is saying aye, then we
I
have,
see the eyes.
okay, all right,
So
so
all the eyes have.
these will be tabled until the February meeting.
I got to finish
Okay,
that. All right.
all right, thank you. All right, we're gonna move down, and one thing that's not listed here on the agenda, but that was the meeting rules, and I said that we're gonna be reading this into the minutes every time for our meetings as we go forward. The first item, and I'm just talking in general circumstances, just to let everyone know what's listed here. These rules are adopted by the council in accordance with its authority to determine its own rules and order of business pursuant to the pertinent sections of Article 3 of the Charter of the Town of Fairmount Heights. The first one is the meeting time, and that's at 7:30 on the third Wednesday. And ours, as you know, this is the second Tuesday, but we had it because of the inauguration. The meeting is being held tonight. The opportunity to be heard is another one that's read every time. Residents of the town are required to have a reasonable opportunity to be heard at any meeting in regard to any municipal question. A quorum, a majority of the members of the council should constitute a quorum, but no ordinance should be approved or any other action taken without the favorable votes of a majority of the whole of members elected or appointed to the council. There is another section about the journal. The council should keep a journal of its proceedings, including all matters passed by the council, including the yeas and nays on any question, resolution, or ordinance. There is another section here. Citizens desiring to speak to the council must sign in prior to the meeting to provide the presiding official with information to allow each interested citizen to be called in order.
Sorry.
Comments will be limited to 3 minutes each. So those are the excerpts that I'm reading. There is also another section about council guidelines. Council members and others in attendance will refrain from talking or holding side conversations when someone has been recognized by the chair or has the floor. So that's a basic summary of the meeting rules. I wanted to make sure they were in the record. We're going to continue down. Also tonight, I did not include on the agenda my State of the Town address has been prepared, and I'm going to include it. I was going to do it during my time for the mayor's report, but I think I want to move it up further into the agenda. Is there any concern about that happening in the middle of the agenda? If so, I can get ready to move forward with that once we do our reports. We have 3 reports, staff reports that are going to be coming forward. So is there any concern?
Are we including my amendment as well to the agenda?
Okay, now, I know you wanted to suggest that this one is added to the agenda for this evening. Okay. Now, we need to make sure when we're moving forward with this.
And it's applicable, given Article 3, Section 1-12 of the Charter.
Okay, I have received this, I received it a few minutes ago, I guess about 15 minutes ago, from Councilmember White. It's an ordinance 2023-1.
Councilwoman Rivers, you do not have a copy of it. We won't be doing it now, just making sure we have it. We'll be doing the mayor's, Thank you.
What are we doing? I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm going to do my State of the Town after the reports are done. And then this was an addition that Councilmember White just gave to me concerning ordinance 2023-1. And it's an ordinance whereby the town amends the Town of Fairmount Heights personnel policy. So that's something that she has desired to add to the agenda.
Are you calling for a motion to amend the agenda?
Yes.
I guess Councilman White has asked for the motion.
Yes, she is.
Is there a second?
Can I get a second?
A second.
Are there any questions on the motion? Did everyone have the opportunity to read your information on the ordinance 2023-1?
No.
Okay.
Madam Mayor, for the sake of discussion, I understand amending the agenda to include this item, but again, just like with the minutes, we haven't had, just now receiving it, have not had the opportunity to read. I know I haven't. What's been given to me, I don't know about those on the line. It's 5 paragraphs here. I just got this. Did you send it? Email?
No, she just handed it out just a little while ago.
Yeah, we haven't had the opportunity to read it for us to change. I do, however, want to add that the council have received, this is this is old business.
Oh, this one here.
This is old business. The council has discussed, oh wait, there's a back. I didn't see that.
Okay. This probably has to be reviewed by the attorney also.
I already talked to the attorney.
Well, again, I don't have enough information. I don't have enough information. It's a discussion about the ordinance. It's a front, back. Didn't receive it until right now. It's being added to the agenda. I don't think we've had enough time to review it. And again, the personnel policy, we've discussed it, updating it. No one's taken the opportunity to even read that for discussion.
I have,
You have.
yeah, and then,
But we're getting ready to discuss and vote on it, council member. Again, my point is, I'm just now getting this. It's a front, it's a back, it's in depth, it's for discussion. It's just being added to the agenda. I don't have enough information for me to be privy to discuss it.
well, if anyone would like me to break it down, I could.
I think we're going to have to get much better information than that though, to make it legally, to make sure that it has all the legal paperwork that goes along with it and everything that's necessary.
Well, no, this is, so if you look at it, and we can do it right now, and I can give a in-depth breakdown, but essentially there is a 2003 copy of the personnel policy that the new council people were given. And then it's come to my attention that there is a 2014 revised version. And the main difference between the two in terms of, something the town has ran into in the past, in the very, near past, is the points in which of dismissal. This problem has occurred twice with the last council. Now, we can talk about it again. It's laid out very nicely. But the last revision, although it was not official, it was distributed to other employees, making it a legal document. I talked to Mr. Deloach about this. And so the previous...
Madam Mayor, I'm sorry for cutting you off. It's not an agenda item. It's not an agenda item yet.
It is not an agenda item because of the fact that I think we received it at the 11th hour. And I think in all fairness, because we have two people on the line, and if we're here in the building, it's going to be misconstrued. I don't even think they've seen it, have they?
No, they've seen it. I can send it again though for them, and I can see everyone on it. But as I was saying, the previous revision that was being distributed, not to all, because the new council people did not receive it. As I can show you, I have the 2003 version. The last version, revised in 2014, gave the mayor, the chief of police, and the town manager sole power to dismiss an employee. And when it comes to, people higher up in the ranks of staff and employees. I thought it would be fair to give people the chance to, have the full council vote if anything were to happen, as this has been a sticky situation in the past. It's all very cut and dry. There have been very minimal revisions made, but once again, because multiple copies were being distributed, the most recent would be the one that we would have to revise. I've spoken to Jason Deloach about this, and we can also refer to CCs as well. More of the details about some of those cannot be discussed in an open meeting, but I'll be happy to discuss them in a closed session as well. I believe this is well written, and I believe it can go forward, and I would like to give the council a chance to vote on it.
Okay. Is your mic on?
I turn it on.
So this is a new ordinance being presented?
Yes, it was just presented this evening, and it's new. And I don't think, like I said, because of the fact that we just received, and the people on the line are not here in the building where they can really participate and look at it. And I don't think that we should even think in terms of that. I can see you want to discuss it.
Well, can we ask them, because they are on the line, they do have microphones.
Yeah, but do they have the information? You said you was gonna send it to them?
Yeah, I mean, I can send it again, but they already have it. Would we like to discuss with them as well?
Any particular reason why you want to expedite this particular vote?
I believe per the last email sent, which we cannot get into right now because it involves, personal information. But I'll be happy to forward that to you as well. But also, this is a loophole that has been a very big problem for the town in the past. So I believe while we're on the subject, we should just get it tied up.
Okay. Council member, let me just say that I think this is going to be very unfair to everyone for us to try to actually address this evening. I can see you wanted to put it on the agenda so you've had the opportunity to talk about it, but it is not in a position whereas we can actually take it and vote on something like this tonight. I don't think it's fair. Because it's just being received, and I don't even know whether those other people have even received it or had the chance to review.
Well, can we vote on it like we did the minutes? All right, so Ms. Wood-Dotson is interjecting. Let me put it on speaker. Wait, let me see.
Is it a possibility being we have a special meeting on Thursday that would give us a chance to review it? Being you're saying it's not fairly being done, can it, if not be done today, come in? All of us should have reviewed it and be able to vote or whatever. By that time, the majority could rule.
I think that's a much better. I think Thursday is a much better opportunity. At least everyone has 2 days, and we're going to be here for the meeting with the treasurer anyway. So we'll just have to let everyone know that we'll have an executive session after that because this is personnel.
Well, this one specifically names no names, so I think it can be done in a regular meeting. But, once again, we can discuss that on Thursday. But in fashion, I believe this can be done in a regular meeting. Now, anything that were to happen after that, of course, would have to be in an executive session, yes.
Okay. What I want to know is everyone in agreement that we relegate this to Thursday's meeting? Because we're going to be here, and the notice has come out today. I think you all have probably received it. It came in it's a flyer that's already gone out saying that we will have a meeting. Well, we just have to amend it that we're going to have an executive session part of it also. I don't think that was on there. I don't think executive session was on. Okay.
You have enough time if you have to.
Yeah, because we have 2 days to do that. That way everyone will have the opportunity to review. Is everyone in agreement with that? Can we do that and just move on to that? Because this is going to stall us here. Okay?
So we'll be looking at it on Thursday.
Yeah, on
Okay.
Thursday. On Thursday. Is everyone in agreement?
Yes.
Council member?
No.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I think we just get the majority, whoever. What about you, Councilmember Barnhart? You want to wait until Thursday? Because we don't have enough information, and it's unfair for us to receive this at the 11th hour and then expect it to be, be able to move forward with it. So, what about the other people? Okay, Councilmember Wood Dotson wants to do it on Thursday. Councilmember
she's-
Oscar? Thursday. I say Thursday. Councilmember Waiters, you agreeing to Thursday? Councilmember, what did you say, Councilmember Barnhart?
You can come back to me.
Councilmember, I can hear her while you can't, Mayor.
Okay.
Councilmember Wood Dodson is making a statement that that's not exactly what she said. She was just,
Okay, well, I took it as she
Yeah.
wanted to do it on Thursday. I don't know what
She's speaking, she can.
can you do it?
What I'm asking is, given the opportunity to vote on what we read, that we received to make a vote tonight. If you have, if a quorum is done tonight, can it be initiated? Or are you saying that we have to wait? We have a full council. Wouldn't it be on us to make a choice as well? Or do we get that choice?
That's what we're giving. Everyone is given the opportunity now to say yay or nay to do it on Thursday because we're not prepared this evening. Now, I don't know any other way to say that.
Okay, so I'm trying to read through this. My turn, I'm speaking out. I'm sorry. So, reference to, again, we're discussing this, it hadn't even been added to the agenda. That's the first point. So I'm kind of confused because it's a new ordinance, but you don't have the old ordinance, you don't have, the personnel policy is not before us, the old one versus the new one. And again, I say this is ongoing conversation. So you asked why, I do believe there is a reason. This is a lot. This is an ordinance. Doesn't the ordinance go before the public and it has to be publicized in the newspaper and all of the above? Yes.
So,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, the charter doesn't specifically state it has to do it beforehand.
Okay.
And that's another thing we can obviously tie up, but I think we're coming to the realization there are a lot of holes. And so we need to, tie them up, which I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
We have an ordinance, where's the personnel reference?
Personnel policy, it's not in front
here.
of us.
It's not here, and there,
Well, would you like me to, I can.
Well, you
not
know
on the
what,
spot,
this
no
is
ma'am,
going to
you're not
top our
ready,
whole
you're not
meeting,
ready, you're not
council member.
ready, you're not ready.
We cannot present it because
No,
of the
you're not
fact
ready.
that by the time we get that pulled in front of us, this is not something that we had scheduled to do. It's really within our field of work for this evening. We're not prepared.
I think it would be a little bit of a stretch to actually take that into consideration, considering the length of the agenda already.
Yeah.
I think a more realistic time would be on Thursday. We're actually doing a vote on that. Councilmember Barnhart and Dodson and
Stewart, is she
Stewart.
on the line?
yes, she is on the line.
can we get the
Okay.
vote for those remaining people?
Councilmember Stewart. She is here.
Okay.
And what did you want from her?
We're just trying to see if she in agreement on Thursday to review this ordinance that
She's gonna
counts.
have to let them see it, hear it with her. You're gonna have to let them hear her with your computer. Councilmember Stewart, they would like to hear your vote. You have to say it so they can hear.
How is she going to be?
Tonight or Thursday?
Her question is,
How about we do it tonight?
Okay.
Get it on. If
Okay.
it's added to the agenda, why can't we vote on it tonight? All right, that's what I said.
Okay, now Councilmember Wood Dodson is saying do it now. Okay, so,
We had no other alternative.
okay, okay.
Be done tonight, let it be done. It's been lingering with all practice and existing foreclosures. We need to
it's still the whole personnel policy has to be finalized on the new finalization. We're going by the 2003 is basically what we've been going by.
The lawyer says because the new revised one was distributed, and we can always call them up, but that is also a legal document. And if we look at the previous emails, I mean.
Okay, well, hey, all I want, I know we can't stay stuck on this because we have a certain amount of time. Another thing I want to mention is that we've been getting so many emails from Zoom. We are so exceeding our limits as far as recordings. We're gonna have to move these meetings on. Now, we start at 7:30, and by a certain time, we're gonna have to get out of here. So this is, right now, we're sitting in the middle. If the majority has agreed that we can do this on Thursday, I don't see the difference in what doing it on Thursday would hurt. Because that way people have a much clearer understanding. You can pull out the personnel policy and look at how it would be inserted and move forward. So, like we have, I think, 3, and then if somebody else doesn't change, I don't know about Councilmember Barnhart. What was your decision, Councilmember?
It was like,
Okay. All right, so that would mean, I think Councilmember Wood Dotson, has she changed hers or what? I don't know.
Yeah, she did.
She did. She changed hers. Okay, so we can insert this on because this has to be read and it should be reviewed before we just jump out and start doing the ordinance. But
So how much time is that gonna take, or added to the extra time we're gonna use to do that?
to just
To
for
accommodate this particular item?
it's only going to take what I'm saying, it would give us 2 days if we had the 2 days. Today is Tuesday, we would have until Thursday. We could review that and we could take it from there. If it's a major issue with that and everyone else has agreed, then we'll have to try to see what we can work out. I'm not, so okay, ordinance 2023-1. Now, this has not been read into the record completely. This is the proposal, the request to place this in the agenda for tonight. I need a motion to place it in the agenda.
I would like to bring forth a motion placing ordinance 2023-1 onto tonight's agenda, January 24th, 2023.
Can I get a second?
Ms. Woodcockson, second.
Are there any questions on the motion? If there are no questions, Madam Clerk to the council, would you please call the roll?
yes. Mayor Martin,
No.
Councilmember Waiter,
Abstain.
Councilmember Stewart. Councilmember Stewart? Yes. Councilmember, White,
Yes.
Councilmember Wood Dotson, Councilmember Barnhart. Yes. Councilmember Oscar.
Nay.
What did you say?
No.
No, okay.
Okay, so So the ayes have it. We have 2 noes and 1 abstention. So we'll move forward placing this on the agenda, and this needs to be read into the record, and we can just take the vote on it.
Would you like to do it now, or would you like to do it after your speech?
I can do it after my speech. I'm going to move on down the agenda.
We're just totally confused.
So we haven't gone through the material.
No.
Can everyone hear me?
Is he said? So what's the modification?
There's still discussion on the motion, Madam Mayor.
Okay. I would like to say a blessed, wonderful evening to everyone. And this is the Town of Fairmount Heights State of the Town Address for the year 2023. A good, blessed evening to us all as we gather in thankfulness for the grace, provision, and favor of God. It warms our hearts. We have come through one of the hardest times in history, sparked by the COVID-19 occurrences and the ensuing fallout, but we remain here for a reason. We give thanks for all the hands that remained with us to get the work done. One of our most dedicated group of workers were our public works employees who created a clean, safe environment that kept the COVID-19 virus under much better control. Our trash was always collected, and food was delivered door to door for residents that were unable to come for pickups. To all of our staff, regardless of your capacity, we thank you. At this time, I would like to have our staff members please stand so that the cameras can capture you as we say thank you for the work that was done during COVID-19 and throughout your time here at the Town of Fairmount Heights. Would you all please give them some applause? Give them some applause. Thank you. Thank you very much. As we move forward, we have a great deal to look forward to. One of our first major projects is the completion of our net zero homes on 60th Place. These homes have been a work in progress for a few years, but our eyes are focused on their completion and a great opportunity that will be presented for additional well-constructed housing within our town. We are happy to report that through various funding sources, we will now have a microgrid included with our net zero homes on 60th Place. And that was done through a major PEPCO and other entities' contributions. Several similar microgrids throughout the town would be extremely helpful in case of major power outages. Our passive home on Addison Road remains a landmark in our community, and as we break ground for our net zeros, our future shines brighter than before. In 2022, we also added an electric charging station to the rear of our town facility on Joss Street. This station enables all owners of electric vehicles to keep them fully charged if their capacity to charge at home is not available. This project is one whose usefulness will become much more recognizable in years to come, since most of the major automobile companies are converting a large portion of their stock to electric-run vehicles. This project was moved forward as a community service to all the residents of our town. Our police department is again up and flourishing under the leadership of our chief, Chief Stanford Moore Jr. Would you stand, Chief, and let the people see you? Would you give him some applause? Thank you. Chief Moore has outlined his visions for a department that reflects the best interests of every resident within our borders. He was officially sworn in on October 11, 2022, and is working on 2 new police vehicles, 2 full-time police officers, updated equipment, and new ideas of implementing safety and accountability for all of us here in our town. Our Public Works Department has been operating with 1 major vehicle for various job assignments throughout the town. So as of this Thursday, we will make a concrete decision in obtaining 1 additional Public Works vehicle so that work assignments can be evenly distributed and the beautification of our community can be easier to accomplish. Speed humps. The discussion of speed humps has been an ongoing issue for quite some time. As a speed deterrent within our town, and they are very much needed. All of our proposals for speed humps are now complete, so that by Thursday of this week, we will move into the official choice of a speed hump vendor. There are several notifications and procedures that are included, and weather would be one of those. And these things are necessary before the humps are installed, but they are close to finalization. Under the ARPA funding proposals, electronic signs for citizen notification are forthcoming. The location of these digital signs are to be determined. All town stop signs will be replaced with updated ones, and all of these additions will increase the safety for all of our residents. Our summer youth program, sponsored by the county, will be one that we will continue to benefit with our youth within our town and our surrounding areas. We accepted 4 youth for the program in the year 2022, and they were under the direction of our town manager, Mrs. Doris Sarumi, and with the help of our town clerk, Mrs. Joanne Tucker, and I must also include Mr. James Pinkney, our code enforcement officer, who always was here to meet our workers first thing in the morning. Any parents with high school students, please ask your young people to sign up in their guidance office and work right here within our town for the summer. This program is funded by the county and has been beneficial to many students throughout the years. Fairmount Heights has been accepting students for many years, and we feel proud of how it has contributed to their well-being and general outlook on life. Grants. We are extremely fortunate to have had the assistance of our town manager, who did an extra fast turnaround and applied for a $10,000 grant from PEPCO through Sustainable Maryland, and we were awarded that $10,000 to design and implement a walkable, livable pathway with special lighting to an area off 60th Avenue that loads to our parking, and leads to our pocket park, and creates a connective route to our town library. Thank you, Mr. Rumi. Our grant money has been received, and the connective work must begin. We have also been deeded a county property. It's on K Street off of Addison Road that has now been cleared for usage of overflow parking and parking for the historic Hargrove House, as it is a historic site. These are also on K Street. The paperwork to our Senator Benson has been submitted for a bond bill to come out of this General Assembly. The request and paperwork have all been finalized. The bond bill will be to repair this building from top to bottom and to give it a totally new facelift and make sure that it's ADA compliant, because as of now, it is not. Another major grant called the RAISE grant has come to my attention by email. This grant will allow us to repair all of our town's streets and sidewalks. This grant is due by February 28, 2023, and is greatly needed since our streets have never been completely redone, only patched. Our town manager has received the paperwork on this grant and is working on research and preparation. This grant can be of great service to our town. Our circuit rider program, our town, and the town of Capitol Heights have been submitted to the Department of Housing and Community Development for approval of a circuit rider who will assist us with grants and other management work within our town. Word has been received that formal announcement about funding and placement is forthcoming in March of 2023. We are looking forward for the opportunity to work with Capitol Heights and have already begun the building of those bridges. We have also been working with Delegate Jazz Lewis on the Blue Line Corridor development, and that plan would be for Capitol Heights, Sea Pleasant, and Fairmount Heights. Their next meeting is this Saturday at 1:00 p.m. Meeting with the treasurer. Our first meeting to discuss the new budget for this year with the treasurer has been done with myself and Mrs. Walker. Several meetings will take place before I present to the council the budget for 2023, and then the budget will be presented to the community. In all of the community work that I have completed throughout my tenures as a public servant for the town of Fairmount Heights, I've done it in a spirit of love. It has been filled with loads of trials and tribulations, but I can truthfully say that this town, our town, is so much better because of my 32 combined years of service to our community. We have come from zero balances to well above, and with an excellent spirit of stewardship, we can maintain. With the favor of God and a pledge to work as a united front, our goals are endless. Each and every one of us must keep digging our heels, hands, and hearts in as we march valiantly to our mark of a higher calling. May peace dwell among us, and may God continue to show us favor. God bless the town of Fairmount Heights. Thank you all very much. I'm going to continue down, and at this time, Chief, would you please come forward with your report?
Good evening, Mayor Martin, Council, citizens of Fairmount Heights. I'd like to start off by just quickly running down my list of activity here in the town of Fairmount Heights. As of January 24th, we have 27 calls for service in the town. Nothing on the magnitude of any robberies, any home invasions, any homicides, or any carjackings. They are all, some of them are domestic related, some of them are loitering, some of them are sounds of gunshots, but on the Eastern Avenue corridor that the call was called in from somebody in the town. And we had 3 stolen cars in the town that were recovered and impounded. As I go down, today is the 24th. On Monday, it was a series of carjackings here in Prince George's County. From listening to the radio, from when I got in the office, when I got in the car at 8 o'clock until probably 7:30 that evening, it was 8 carjackings in the Prince George's County, Washington, D.C. area from back and forth. So as you can see, there are, if you watch the news, I'm a news watcher. The last 2 days, it's been a series of carjackings, including one down that the U.S. Capitol Police made apprehension of on a series of carjacking. These were carjacking subjects that were wanted in Prince George's County, and the lookout went out for a white BMW because they had already carjacked 2 or 3 people, and U.S. Capitol got behind them, and it turned into a chase where they hit a Capitol officer with their vehicle, bailed out, and ran and hid behind the restaurant. But they were both apprehended without incident. So just something that we got to be mindful of. This is the day and the time of carjackings are on a very high level. and stolen cars. As a report that I get and I read, I believe it's the Hyundai Sonata is the #1 stolen car in the area. It's the easiest car for them to steal, and that's what's reported. So, other stuff in my report, I gave each council member and the mayor a copy of the fire report. I've also spoke with Mr. Rumi. We had the fire department here doing a building inspection, which was something we discussed about at a prior either work session or town meeting, and they were here for probably about an hour and a half or so, just giving me a rundown of everything. I'm happy to report it's manageable, but we just have to get on top of it. We have 30 days to respond to the violations that the fire department left. And if you have a copy, I have highlighted the violation head, and everything underneath is something that we need to get fixed. And it's things like the exit signs that don't light up when we come out, a couple of doors that don't all the way, they have to have door jambs in them. We have a room downstairs in the basement where we have some historical signs and stuff stored. Well, that's the sprinkler room. It can't be anything in that room that's going to hinder anybody from getting in that room. Over top of the exit sign is some exposed wiring that needs to be closed. We have fire hydrants that need to be hung. And most importantly, we have to have the sprinkler system company come in and do a sprinkler test, and we need to make sure that we get the sprinkler test every year. So I'm on top of that. I've made contact. The sprinkler company will be in Friday morning at 10 a.m., and we'll do a walkthrough, myself and Mr. Pinckney, to make sure that they have everything they need, and we are up to speed on where we are with that process. Also this past week, I sat in on the trial of a former officer here at Fairmount Heights. That was most of my time last week on trial, taking notes about everything that went on there. And I also had a meeting with the FBI in reference to an upcoming case. So that was kind of time consuming last week. But this process moves forward. I have a trial in 2 weeks that I have to go to in reference to my position as the chief here at Fairmount Heights in reference to another former officer. This week I had the pleasure of meeting 3 seniors in the town. One of them was referred to by Councilwoman Wood Dodson, and I had the pleasure of going by and having about a 30-minute conversation with her. I must say it was a treat. We exchanged some information, and she made me feel like I was at home. So I really appreciate that. But I had another opportunity to meet up with 2 other people who have some concerns. And I will be making my way around the town to meet more people. And I had an opportunity to meet with quite a few Hispanic families that are in the town now, and just letting them know that anything they need from us here in the town, feel free to walk in, call in anytime. If there's anything they need help with, anything they don't understand as far as the way the town ordinances go, the parking stuff goes, the way the police department is run, and that they're welcome to come to all of the meetings. They're open meetings, and just want to make sure that they understand that they're, if they have any concerns about anything, this is an open door here. So as we go forward, I plan to meet more people. I'm happy to also say that as of right now, we haven't had any issues with some of the vacant homes being broken into, with the exception of one. Myself and Mr. Pinckney went to where we have somebody who is leaving tons of trash and stuff on the property. So we went out and walked the property with him, gave him a few suggestions, and he threw a few ideas back at us. So I think together we're going to get that problem worked out. That will conclude my report. I would like to know if anybody had any questions in reference to the fire safety inspection. Yes, ma'am.
One question, what's the occupancy
They're doing that now. So as a part of their survey here, they're going to do one for this room and downstairs. But and Mr. Pinckney tell you, it took a while for that because the room downstairs is so chopped up. So what we may think can fit in there, because it's chopped up and one wall stop here and the other wall stops right there, and we're trying to stretch for every ounce of space we can get. We like, count this side over here, but you can't count the bathroom areas. You can't count where we have that like kitchenette area because that's going to be marked off for people who are using that kitchenette. So you can't mark that off as meeting space or whatever we're doing. So we learned a lot from them. But it was two young ladies who came, and they were sent by Chief Tiffany Green, who I reached out to. She's the fire chief of Prince George's County, and I appreciate her for sending the people. But we'll know that soon. They're going to email me after they put that part together. In the meantime, we got to get on these other things in these 30 days. So
So what happens if the roof is not done within the allocated time?
Well, then I go and I'll ask and beg and plead for another 30 days. But the 30 days is just they'll give us a little wiggle room, but it's nothing major. But this is the stuff that, when I get the information, I report it to Mr. Rooney and the mayor. This is where we are. This is where we need to be. Now, I'm taking on some of these responsibilities myself.
Mr. Rooney will give us a biggie.
One comment, if you do not comply and make the corrective changes, you're subject to be put on something called a fire watch. So, and then it has instructions as to how that works.
Okay.
And it can be fines incorporated with that too.
Okay.
So I've already located some of the fire. So the fire extinguishers we have in the areas, they're huge. And it was just like, you don't need these. You need smaller ones, and they need to be hanging. They don't need to be reaching around. You should be able to go right to the wall or whatever and pull it off the wall. So I've located 3 today as a part of my survey. So we do have the 3 that we can hang. I'll make contact with Public Works and see if I can get one of them to do it, because I'm not in the hanging stuff. And then we just move on. We'll look at the covering here. And then I don't know if some of these things needed batteries or whatever, but when you hit the test thing, the lights are supposed to come on. So if all the power go out, these lights are supposed to cut on automatically. And maybe, let's say if it's 10 of them, 5 out of the 10 may work. So it's nothing huge, but for now we can get through that.
Councilmember Stewart has a question. She has her hand raised.
Okay. I guess it's for the chief or who?
Okay.
I don't know.
Can she, wait, hold on. Go ahead. I hope it don't make noise. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Wait 1 second.
Sprinkler system, correct?
You repeat that one time, I'm sorry.
Could you hear?
I couldn't tell end of it.
Okay.
Okay.
Put it to your mic.
Ms. Gibson, could you please repeat that?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so just want to make sure I understood. The inspection that we had done the other day was just for the building, not the fire and safety portion of the building.
Well, it's a combination of both. I'll wait for you to mute. It's a combination of both. So when the sprinkler system, the sprinkler company comes in on Friday, then if you guys notice, I don't know if you noticed around the building, we have the old pull the alarm system here, which means that somebody has to get to that and let everybody know. Well, as a part of that, we have the option of getting our own smoke detectors to put into the building to give notification in case somebody can't get to that alarm. So I think that's something that we should move forward with and have Public Works hang them throughout the building, upstairs and downstairs, because we had to identify each pull ring, and everybody will need to know where that's at in case it goes off. So outside of that, that's the only system that's in here, is somebody has to get to that alarm to pull it if they know it's a fire in the building.
did not check for the smoke detectors in the pool station. They didn't do that part of the inspection.
There are no smoke detectors in this building.
When was the last time we had an inspection done in the building?
2015.
2015. And how often should we have an inspection?
Every year.
So we haven't had one since 2015.
According to the tags on the fire, the fire extinguishers got inspected not too long ago. But on the sprinkler system itself, it's 2015. When I called the company to set up the appointment, 2015 was the last time that company had came out to do an inspection, yes.
Thank you very much.
Any further questions?
Okay.
Anybody?
I got a question.
Sure.
Are we gonna need to both smoke detector and a carbon monoxide detector?
I would get one. I have them both in my house. I would definitely, especially if the all of the boiler stuff is in the basement. I would definitely make sure that we have one at least downstairs, so it can detect and notify everybody upstairs. Especially downstairs is not occupied that much, so if something was to happen downstairs, it would go for a little while before we would even know up here. So the more detectors that we have would be good, yeah. And the last part, and I'm done. Again, I believe the mayor mentioned the two vehicles that the council and the mayor voted that the police department should get. The vehicles are here. I talked to the dealership today. They've come into the dealership in Pennsylvania, so all we have to do now is make payment, and the vehicles will be delivered here. We do not have to get them. They will drop them off right here on this street.
Okay.
So
All right.
that is it for me.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank
Thank you. Okay, that's a good way.
I'm sorry, there are a few questions in the chat as well.
Okay.
I'm sorry. So let's move on. So Ms. Gladden asked, and you kind of answered this, but I'll ask them both in discussion.
Sure.
What is the status of smoke and carbon monoxide detectors in the building? And are the detectors not mandated by the fire department, or are they optional?
They are optional, but our system is so obsolete that we need to have detectors for the safety of everybody that's in the building. So when the sprinkler I'll have more information when the sprinkler system company comes out. But as far as the fire department that came, as long as that system is working, so once I meet with them on Friday, I have to send them the results of our alarm system to the fire department to make sure that that's up and working. So they can add that to the report saying that this system is working. We can't be in here with no detectors and that system is not working. That way they'll shut the building down. So
Okay,
let's pray for a working system on Friday.
right. Okay.
That was the only question?
I guess, I don't know.
Okay.
Was it, okay. All right, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Chief. All right, we can continue now to Mr. Pinckney. Would you come forward, please?
Good evening to the mayor, council, and the residents of the town of Fairmount Heights. This is the final part of my January code enforcement report. On January 3rd, 2023, our office requested liens be placed on 4 properties totaling $3,500. The District Court of Maryland for Prince George's County extended the payment period for Bossa Fleet LLC, the owner of property located at 1023 58th Avenue. The payment must be received by the town of Fairmount Heights before March the 1st, 2023 in the amount of $1,000. During this period, we have issued 3 civil citations totaling $3,000. Building permits for the month of January. We issued 2 building permits totaling $2,099.70. we haven't received any new business licenses. Rental license for the month of January, we renewed, it's three. It's three rental licenses totaling $300. For the month of January, we didn't receive any vacant building registration fees. Stop work orders. There were 2 stop work orders issued during the month of January. And you can see that on the, one was for 1033 Fifth Ave Avenue. They were doing solar panels without a permit. And 708 62nd Avenue, that's the old house where Mrs. Wong used to stay. I went out there, we went out there yesterday, and the workers there they came to the office to try to get a permit, but they had the previous owner on the permit that the county had issued them. They have to have a permit with the current owner. So when I went out there, they were doing the work, so I had to put a stop work order. Then I called Inspector Swan from PG County Inspectors, and he said that was the right thing to do, so he was going out today. I didn't come in today. I had to do some things around the house earlier today, but I will be out there tomorrow. So that's why I put the stop work on those 2. Notice of corrective action. For the month of January, we have issued 5 corrective notices for various violations. 3 of these violations have been corrected. Miscellaneous. I would like to reintroduce the program concerning unregistered, abandoned, stored, or inoperable vehicles parked on residential properties. If we were to create a flyer stating that if after a certain period of time, the property owners will be issued a civil citation every month until the situation is corrected, we will have to inform the public that the vehicles must be in an enclosed structure, not a vehicle cover. A number of our residents are collecting vehicles just for the sake of collecting vehicles with no intentions of operating the vehicles. This situation is creating an eyesore throughout the town. An enclosed structure means that a structure with a roof or ceiling and at least 2 walls. An enclosed area could mean just having a fence around that area. And this is something that the mayor and the council would have to consider. We would need to update the property maintenance code to include how vehicles are housed. The property maintenance code already tells us the different categories, but it says nothing about how to house your vehicle. And our the town of Fairmount Heights property maintenance code states the following. Section 5213, inoperative, unlicensed vehicles. No person shall park any vehicle or store any unlicensed, inoperative, or disabled vehicle on any public street, alley, parking lot, or roadway. B, no land shall be used for parking, storage, collection, maintenance, accumulation, or abandonment of any unlicensed, inoperative, or disabled vehicle except as hereafter provided. C, unregistered vehicles, which may be classified into the following categories, shall be exempt from this provision of this section. However, no more than 1 vehicle per household shall be exempt from the said provisions at any one time. 1, a vehicle recently purchased pending inspection for a period not to exceed 30 calendar days. 2, a vehicle being advertised for sale for a period not to exceed 30 calendar days. 3, a vehicle actively being repaired to be permitted, a vehicle actively being repaired to a permitted condition which will be registered for a period no more than 30 calendar days. 4, a vehicle being held pending settlement of an insurance, estate, or similar claims. Proof must be provided to the chief of police. Now, the International Property Maintenance Code states the following. Chapter 3, Section 302.8, motor vehicles. Except as provided for in other regulations, no inoperative or unlicensed vehicle shall be parked, kept, stored on any premise, and no vehicle shall at any times be in state of major disassembly, disrepair, or in the process of being dismantled. In my report for December, I stated that our office have received complaints about the discharge of water coming from 905 Eastern Avenue. The water was freezing up on 56th Avenue. I was informed that WSSC visited the property and discovered that the owners had an interior leak, which was caused by a defective sump pump. The problem has been corrected, but I received a call today, and I rode by the property yesterday because I see that they had polished the wall and the water was stopped running. But when I looked back yesterday, it had started to come out that discharge pipe again. So the individual called me and said the problem hasn't been corrected, so they were going to try to get in touch with WSSC for their report. And also, we have received complaints about dog owners not picking up behind their dogs. This has to cease because it is not healthy for the community at large. Because I know down in Ravine, I know a lot of my neighbors, not a lot, but I see some of them, and I tell them, you got to pick up behind your dog. They'll wait till like 12, 1 at night. Sometimes I'm coming in, and they think nobody's out there. They just let the dog go.
Yeah.
Then when my grandson go out there, he coming with mess all on his shoes. You know, so I'm asking, you know, if you see a neighbor that's... It's supposed to be on a leash, but they, at 12 or 1 at night, they can be on a leash.
Yeah.
And they just let the dog go and do their business, and then they just go in the back. They don't think about the little green pooper scoopers.
Yeah.
You know, they're just trifling. That's what they are. And the last thing, I think in our last meeting, we asked Chief Moore and myself to look for different areas where some stop signs would be installed. And I just doing some research, and the ones I found out were to install the stop signs and the do not enter signs, and that's at 59th and Veterans Parkway, east and west. That's 2 signs. And Joss Street and Balsall Tree Drive, and these are 30 by 30 signs with 8 lights. And the company is Eco Signs. They sent us a brochure. It's over there. And I talked to them yesterday, and one sign is $1,371. That's for the stop signs with the flashing lights around it, and these are solar. Right? And you have for the do not enter flashing lights, you have Eastern Avenue and 61st Avenue, one sign. Then you have 60th Avenue and Joss. That's right here. Because a lot of times cars just be coming through here. Right out here. And it would be a 30. They had a 36 by 36, but they don't stock those. So he said the most what they could give us was a 30 by 30 with 8 lights, and that's $1,371 each. And these quotes were provided by Eco Sign, and it would take 2 to 3 weeks to do the signs. And I was researching on the I think Councilman White was talking about the signs for the building. I was trying to find something that had solar, but most of them don't do solar signs. So you would have to have some electric running. So I just picked up I just Googled that, different signs for the building. Any questions? Bless you.
No, I don't have a question, but I can relate to I walk my dog every morning. My husband walks at night with her. And when you walk past the post where the doggy bags are at, majority of them, all of them are empty.
They are?
Yeah.
Well, I'll ask Mac tomorrow. He needs some bags. I think he has some bags. Okay.
Because I understand when you're coming from picking up your dog food, but there's no bags.
They're beating on the food.
Yeah, there's no bags in the stations.
Yeah.
That's my reason for the statement.
Yeah.
I have a fortunate experience on my street where she just let
The dog, yeah. You got bushes behind your house, so they think it's all right.
Yeah.
So I have a different experience.
Yeah, I walk my dog, so we constantly stepping in poop.
Yeah.
So the people will pick up their poop, and we have
Bags.
inside the stations.
Oh, so you say it makes sense to the building.
We have the bags.
Yeah, we
They just have to replenish them.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we order plenty of bags. So it's just the idea that they have to keep up with putting a new supply in. Yeah.
No, we received a grant, it was, 2016, around that time, and it was for 10, so we didn't have to pay it all. So it was part of the same with Maryland. So, we can apply for additional, I think we should. I've been doing an unofficial windshield survey in terms of the number of dogs that you have in town, so you need to have more. And then I'll get with you tomorrow in terms of supply of materials, and then we can report back to the council as to how much it's gonna cost. Or I'll check with University of Maryland to see if there's any more grant money that we can get some additional.
Well, in this book,
Yeah.
they have the pooper scoopers in there, you can probably order them.
Right. Yeah, we know what to order.
Yeah.
But we wanna know whether we
You
have
can
to
get free.
pay or whether or not we can have it in terms of a grant. Yeah. But we definitely need more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
You
ma'am?
might not know the answer to this, but how often is the stations changed?
I would have to ask
You have to ask Public Works.
the MAC.
They're the ones that change.
They
it.
changed them.
How often are the stations changed?
I don't know what they changed, they just take them out, put them in the trash can.
No, the stations, the post stations, the doggy stations, how often do those containers change?
But it's once a week.
Once a week?
Yeah. But we may have to do that more often. I just said that, an unofficial survey seems like we have such a, almost
Everybody got a dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Anybody?
Yes,
Martha.
okay, thank you.
There's a
Yeah.
question in the chat. Councilwoman White, do you see the question?
Yes, I can read it.
Mm-hmm.
Does the town have any ordinances on heavy equipment coming through the town streets? Over the past 2 weeks, there have been excessive flow of dump trucks and heavy construction vehicles coming from Sheriff Road through 61st Avenue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This causes damage to the town streets that are already in poor condition.
Right.
Yeah, well, let me put it like this. They're coming because they're building a house. That's why you have dump trucks, you have concrete trucks, they're coming right to 1003 60th Avenue, but they're coming down 61st Avenue because they're doing all the construction. The construction entrance is on 61st Avenue. They have like rocks, for the construction equipment. But I think they're coming right off of Sheriff Road into 61st Avenue. So as long as they're building something, I don't think there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, because they have been out working. That's where that's coming from. Yeah.
Only thing I have to cite them because they're not sweeping up the mud.
Okay.
The mud is coming back out to 61st Avenue.
Okay.
Anything else?
All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Pinckney.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Romy?
Good afternoon,
Good
Mayor,
afternoon.
Council, and citizens. I passed out my report dated the 10th. I think you had it before, so I can basically go over some of the highlights in that report. One is, Mayor Martin, I'm going to refer to you because I don't think we've received any additional information concerning the franchise agreement.
No.
Okay, great.
No other
Yeah,
information.
I know I have not either.
Uh-huh.
Okay. In terms of CSAP, we do have one person. We have Mrs. Patricia Pinkett, who came to us the end of December. I have put in a request to the CSAP program for one additional person. They did make a recommendation, but the person has severe health issues, and Mrs. Tucker and I thought that that would have been a hardship on us to have to reasonably accommodate somebody with severe health issues. Mayor Martin already mentioned the 2023 Summer Youth Program. So we will start having our meetings and updates, and I will give you an update as time passes by. Department of Public Works, we continue to seeking a supervisor of Public Works. We received one resume. I'm sorry now.
as of today, we received 2 resumes. And so we will be looking at interviewing to fill that position. Public Works is now ready for snow and inclement weather. The SALT agreement with the town and county is active through 2023. Public Works will start painting curb cuts and stencil storm drains. Mayor Martin did not include in her State of the Town report that we had received $5,000 grant, arts grant, Councilmember Waiters, that we had received a $5,000 art grant. And the purpose of that grant will be to start painting the curb cuts and will stencil storm drain covers. Residents should clean up the leaves in front of their property and on sidewalks. And this is a strong recommendation from the Public Works staff. Residents are required to remove snow and ice, therefore the same should apply to removal of leaves. But we are about at the end of leaf removal season, so we can continue with other things. I'm not going to say a lot about the Net Zero Housing Initiative partnership. Mayor Martin already talked about that. Also for citizens, for council, for anyone who are in touch with citizens, we encourage each homeowner to apply for a grant up to $60,000, grant, not loan, up to $60,000, so that they can make improvements. We talk about new construction going on in the town, but we have an aging housing stock, so we would like to be able to make some improvements. Plus, it cuts down and reduces the carbon footprint for our environment. And the last update I received from HIP, groundbreaking is scheduled for end of February, beginning of March. Someone had given me a feedback or comment to say that it shouldn't take this long. That may be true when you have private sector dollars, but when you have to leverage money with money from the state, from the county, and from other various sectors, it takes a while to have all the necessary funding. And you have to remember they're trying to write down the cost to build these new houses that cost about $450,000. They're trying to write down the cost below $200,000. Also, the bond bill financing, Mayor Martin mentioned, we did submit the form to the Senator's office, and they are working on it. And also attached in my report, I had a list of ideas or some initiatives for the bond financing. Mayor Martin, I am thinking that this would be a good way to leverage money with RISE, using the General Assembly funding. So the bond will be used, but not inclusively for this, but lead-based paint abatement. That's going to cost a lot. Asbestos abatement, upgrade electrical systems. We already talked about some of the findings from the fire marshal. We're going to upgrade the plumbing system, ADA compliance, including sidewalks. Definitely you can do that in RAISE. Upgrade all bathrooms, green roofs, solar applications throughout the building, window replacement, and door replacement. So, and just for your information, the form was sent to Ms. Claudette Sherman, Office of Policy Analysis, and they are working on it. I think, have you heard anything back from me other than?
I haven't heard anything other than that.
They're working on it. Okay. Where am I? Economic and Community Development. Councilmember Waiters, our meeting last week on Economic and Community Development. And you see I put the single sheet in, and it's a notice of funding opportunity dated November 28th. And for your information for the citizens and the council, usually there is anywhere from a 40-day to a 60-day turnaround to do a grant. It's not that I have a lot of leeway. And one of the things that I've been asking that we need to do, we need to have a consultant hired to do a master plan. Look at Seat Pleasant, they have their master plan on their website, and other towns too. We need to have a master plan. So when these funds and opportunities come up, we are able to carry out the opportunity. And one good example, I think I put it in your file, the property on The house that's up for 708. Yes, skin in the game.
Yes.
Skin in the
yes.
house.
Okay.
I mean, and skin in the game. The house is about to be foreclosed. They're taking the best bid, which will be on February the 7th. A deposit of $15,000 would be needed. Now, if we had our master plan, and a great plan, so we would plan all of those, so when these opportunities arise, that we would be able to take advantage of those opportunities. Let me see. The last time I talked about the Mayor and Council to establish a Historic Preservation Review Board. I think it was the council's decision not to move forward with that. Was it?
Yeah, we were supposed to gather some more information. I guess we'll probably have to bring it back forward again in one of our upcoming meetings.
Okay. And why is that? That is so important? As I mentioned, the county invested over $10,000 funding to create a pattern book, and the pattern book was to assist the town when working with developers or homeowners to renovate their homes to maintain the historic integrity of the town. And so that was one of the reasons. I think you just came in last week, or last time I was here, you had a plan. I'm going up almost every other day to look at that house in terms of the amount of setback, both front and back. So that's important. I know there are two houses, I don't want to use the person's name, where the fence, it seems like they're encroaching on somebody else's property. I'm talking about Mr. Whittingham's property. Right. Those problems are examples of why you need to have a historic preservation committee. It certainly helps ease the burden of encroachment. I think that is basically all that I have at this time. As I said, Councilmember Waiters, as a result of our meeting, Economic Community Development meeting last week, we talked about the RISE funding, which is the United States Department of Transportation, published $1.5 billion of funding through the Rebuilding America Infrastructure with Sustainability and Equity, the acronym for RACE. As a discussion, and I said suggested, so this is not just Doris Sarumi talking. I'm suggesting that our project could be the Fairmount Heights Safe Streets, Sidewalks, and African American Historic Trail. Some of you may not know that we do have a historic trail, and these trails encompass the historic district. Okay, as you can see down here, also shows a National Register, historic sites, historic resources, and it runs through, as a matter of fact, this trail, which is not on this map, runs from Kenilworth Avenue down to Mount Vernon. I know my family, they are bicyclists. They take their bike from Kenilworth Avenue all the way over here down to Mount Vernon. And so there are a lot of young people. We talk, when Councilmember Waiters, you did ask me to do an analysis of the census data. And the census data is so important to determine how we're going to use the RISE money. So we really need to look at who lives in town. The chief talked about the people he met. He met senior citizens, but I met a lot of young people. There are a lot of young people in town. And they are of diverse race and culture. So I will have that information, Councilman, available to discuss at our Economic Community Development meeting and at the next town meeting. That's all I have.
No, Councilmember? I'm sorry. The other loan assistance, did you get that? You sent us that information. The loan assistance program? Yeah, you sent us the information. I don't see it here. You didn't mention it.
Oh, okay. No, I know some time ago I did give you that information, but I would gladly put a copy of that information in everybody's box.
Okay.
I think we got $650,000 through the Maryland Department of Housing, which we didn't talk about. We got $650,000 of funding through the Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development.
There is a question from Councilwoman Stewart. She has her hands raised. Councilwoman White, will you? Thank you.
Councilwoman Stewart.
Me? Okay. My question is, whose responsibility is it to have the building fire system inspected yearly?
I'm not going to make any excuses, especially since that's my background. It's certainly my responsibility. I do have some information in terms of information that I sent, I think when Chief Watkins was here. I don't think we did an inspection when Mr. Ivy was here, but we did do the inspection of the sprinkler systems and that sort of thing. That was done. So I'm not going to make excuses. It's my responsibility. It should have been my responsibility.
Okay, going forward, we cannot not meet these yearly inspections because the building is unsafe. And we have to make sure that when people come in the building, it's not a violation, a fire safety code violation. So we have to stay on top of those types of things.
I certainly agree. And so I've been working and coordinating the schedule and everything with the chief, and I've been working together to ensure that those inspection reports are done annually or in accordance with the requirements by the fire marshal.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Are there any other questions for Mrs. Rumi?
No more in the chat room.
Okay. All right. Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Rumi. We're going to go down to our treasurer's report. Our treasurer is not here this evening, and she's not online. That's not that I know of. You see her online?
No,
She had an important meeting that was scheduled for tonight, so she'll be with us on Thursday, and she'll be at our February meeting for any updates if anybody needs those. So I'm going to move down to our agenda item that was added by Councilmember White. And Councilmember White, I think you probably need to come up and read this information into the record.
Where are we on the agenda? I'm sorry.
We're down after the reports, after the treasurer's not here.
This is new
So
business.
she's not lying.
You put it under old business?
No, I just put it, no, actually, yeah, we're not gonna, here's what's gonna happen. I can go through the subtitles for each one of these items under old business, and let me just say, I'll do that before I invite Councilmember up, because it is new. The items under old business were the town speed humps. I addressed those earlier. We will have the final destination and the paperwork for those done on Thursday through the treasurer. That's what the purpose of our Thursday's meeting is. The second item is the town street signs, the replacements. Mr. Pinckney talked about those in his report, and we discussed those in our work session. So we're going to make sure that all of these things are implemented. All this will be done through our ARPA funding. Item number 3, the digital town signs. Those will also be done. We're going to get signs that are compliant and safety, adhere to all the safety standards. And I'm glad we did have one stop sign that we could replace that one. Thank you so much for the information that you sent to me concerning that replacement of that stop sign, because that was an emergency. Yes, it was. That was Mr. Sheffield who did that. So those items are through. That's the only old business that we had. So we're going to continue down to new business, and under new business, the first item will be Councilmember White with ordinance number 2023-1.
Ordinance 2023-1, Personnel Policy, Section 12.2, through Section 12.4. An ordinance whereby the Town of Fairmount Heights amends the Town of Fairmount Heights Personnel Policy to include quorum decision regarding employee dismissals. Whereas local government, Section 5-202, 1, 2, and 5 of the Maryland Code grant to municipalities the power to adopt ordinance to assure the good government of the municipality, to protect and preserve the municipality's rights, property, and privileges, and to protect the health, comfort, and convenience of the residents of the municipality. And Article 3, Section 1-12 of the Town Charter grants to the Town Council the power to pass all such ordinances, resolutions, and laws not contrary to the Constitution and laws of the State of Maryland or our charter as it may deem necessary for the good government of the municipality in order to promote health, safety, comfort, convenience, welfare, and happiness of the residents of the town and visitors thereto and sojourners therein. And the town deems it necessary and appropriate to advise the personnel policy as to better serve the employees of the town of Fairmount Heights and provide employees with a fair chance evaluation consisting of full council input. Whereas pursuant to Article 3, Section 1-12 of the Town Charter, the mayor and council have authority to enact legislation by affirmative vote of a majority of the members of the council. This ordinance shall be passed immediately, that will have to be a fix, shall be active immediately after passage. Section 1, now therefore be it ordained by the Town Council of the Town of Fairmount Heights in regular session assembled at 12.1 through Section 12.4 of the Town Personnel Policy be and is hereby amended to enact the following language. Dismissals. 12.1, dismissals because of reorganizational change or reduction in service. The mayor, on recommendation of the Town Council, Town Manager, or chief of police of the town shall give the employees at least 10 days written notice. If the employee is dismissed without minimum notice, he shall receive equivalent pay in lieu of notice in addition to payment of accrued annual leave. Dismissal because of incompetence or misconduct. The town council, town manager, or chief of police shall give 5 days notice for such dismissals except during the probationary period when 0 days notice may be given. The town council, town manager, or chief of police reserve the right to dismiss without minimum notice, and the employee shall be paid for the full time of such notice. Dismissals of employees with probationary status. If it is found that the probationary employee does not display qualifications for reemployment, the town shall give the probationary employee 0 days termination notice after 365 days probationary period. Responsible for dismissal. Dismissal of the town clerk is direct responsibility of the town council. The dismissal of all other employees is the responsibility of the town council, town manager, or chief of police.
Okay. So at this time, I will accept a motion on approval of this ordinance 2023-1.
Madam Mayor, I have questions before the motion comes forth. There was reference to, again, there's reference to sections that I don't have before me to make comparison. Now therefore, section 1 references section 12.1, section 12.5. That's not before us.
Okay.
And again, I say, reading the ordinance, I know that it was added to the agenda, it's been read into public record.
Would you like me to read the?
No, ma'am, I would like to have it in front of me. If you, for me, council member, if you were going to present this and you're asking for it to be, and you're asking for our vote, you're referencing a section in the personnel policy that's not before, so it would have been, or should have been, for me, a part of the package that you're presenting.
Okay.
So, again, I've seen the old, I've seen the new, it's been a discussion to read, the council never reads, has never passed this. When we asked about the fire extinguishers or whatever in 2015, this is something that's been on the table for quite some time, so I do applaud you for trying to move this forward. But you're making reference to sections in the personnel policy that it's not before us to make comparisons, referential comparisons to what's being changed, is my point.
Okay. I would like to make a small, announcement, because it is my duty to the town to make sure you have that that information. Let me pull it up for you. So here is the revised.
I don't, ma'am, council member, I don't want you to pull it up for me.
I'm not saying you would like me to pull it up. I think it's my duty, as you brought up, to the town to pull it up so they can have it.
So who can have it? We're the ones making the decision. We don't have it. That's my point. You're presenting it, council member. I'm not asking about the public. What I'm saying to you is you're asking for the mayor and council, our responsibility, to vote on something, and you're going to pull it up. It should be, you put this before us.
All right, well, I'll just read it for the clarity.
Council member.
And if not, we can move forward.
Well, council
So
member,
it's one way or the other.
Yeah, excuse me for one moment. Personally, I mean, my concern is that we have not had our attorney to review this. All of our other ordinances have been reviewed by our attorney, and they come back to us and be prepared and ready to be voted on. You know, we read them at work session, it's sent to the attorney, and then after that, it comes back to the town meeting. Now, this one took all the routes other than doing that. Now, that's my concern with this.
Okay.
That's my concern. So, I mean, I know, I mean, it's just gonna be an opportunity, I can say yay or nay, but that's my concern with this. Because, we have to report all these ordinances in an official manner to the Department of Legislative Services.
Yes, ma'am.
And I would like to make sure that it's done correctly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
should we move forward with a motion or do we have more questions?
I don't know, we haven't even gotten to questions yet. I just need to receive the motion.
Okay. Do you?
So, are you comfortable with the attorney not having a chance to revise that information before we take a?
I am 100% comfortable, yes.
But based on the the instructions Madam Mayor gave, is that the protocol was to channel it through the lawyer, and then comes back for discussion, then we take a vote, because the legality aspect of it.
Yes, sir.
We don't want to compromise that. But I think it's being compromised right now.
I understand. And, to be completely forthcoming, the lawyer gives us counsel. The lawyer doesn't make any final decisions for us. He does, however, he is equipped with the tools to legally lead us in the right direction. Now, all of these things are very cut and dry. A lot of them were in the previous one. There are a few things that just felt not very clear from the last revision. So if you actually look at both versions, and which I said before, I can pull up for you, because I understand you are uncomfortable making this decision right now. And it's the same as the 2003 with a few adds from the 2014 version. Both of which were brought forth before I was on council. So, yeah.
Okay. So that's my point. That's all I wanted to say concerning that.
Yes, ma'am.
So, was there another question in the chat?
Councilwoman Wood Dodson, but she'd
have to go into Councilmember White's computer.
So that it can be on, so that you can hear.
Okay. Okay. Did she, did her,
Ask your question.
There's one from Ms. Gladden as well. So, there is one.
Oh, okay, she's talking.
Oh, she is. Let me get it open.
To pass the ordinance. Is that where we are now?
We don't even have a motion on the floor yet, so.
That's what I'm asking, that's what we're waiting, to make a motion to pass this ordinance.
We were just discussing so that we can get the motion, and then we can actually do the vote, but we were just expressing concerns about it.
Okay. To make a motion, as 2023-1.
I didn't get that last part.
She's making a motion.
So I need to hear the whole, did you hear
She
what you
needs to make
said?
the motion. I just want to make sure that she's hearing the discussion too, because she comes on and she opens her mic and she was asking if we're discussing the motion. So is she clear on the former conversation about the concerns?
Mhm.
Asked what I said, is the floor open? Is that what we're and to approve 203-3?
She's proposing a motion.
Okay, because she's breaking up so bad, I can't hear her. I didn't hear what she said.
If you could please repeat it one last time, Ms. Wood Dotson.
Are we right now waiting to approve 2023-1? If so, I would like to make a motion to put it on the floor. That's what I'm asking. Is that where we are?
That's where we are. Yes, we are.
Okay.
All right, well, can I get a second? And I get a second on that motion?
I second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve ordinance number 2023-1. Are there any questions on the motion?
None are in the chat.
Okay. If there are no questions, Madam Clerk to the council, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Mayor Martin,
No.
Councilmember Waiters,
I abstain without having the additional information I'd asked for.
Councilmember Stewart,
Yes.
Councilmember White,
Yes.
Councilmember Wood Dotson,
Yes.
Councilmember Barnhart,
Yes.
Councilmember Oscar,
No.
Okay. Thank you very much. The ayes have it. There are 3 noes, 2 noes and 1 abstention. So it passes.
Next steps.
Okay.
Can you state the next steps for the ordinance, ma'am, since it was public and for clarity and next steps for the ordinance? Next steps for the ordinance?
The next step. Oh, okay. Well, it still probably needs to be reviewed. I guess now, but it's already approved.
And it's
In their
effective
notification
immediately.
Yeah, because it's,
Isn't there a notification process? This is
well,
into the public.
see, actually, this one took the other route, and we're gonna have to make sure. Yeah, because you're supposed to do it for a certain amount of days. I think it's like 14 days.
An ordinance may be
notification.
passed at the meeting at which it is introduced and shall become effective 20 days after passage unless otherwise specified
Thank
in the
you.
ordinance. And the ordinance does say, this ordinance shall be passed immediately after passage, active, but we can always do a change for that. And this is under the 4th line, whereas pursuant to Article 3, Section 1-12 of the Town Charter of the Mayor and Council have authority to enact legislation by the affirmative vote of a majority of the members of the council.
So it's passed, okay.
Yes.
I just asked the next step. Why do we have to get?
Okay. All right, so that's it. we're going to continue down, and the first item on the new business was the information for number 1, which is the utility resolution update, and Councilmember Stewart is on the line. I do have the monthly meeting summary reporting data. Would you like to comment on that one, Councilmember Stewart?
Yes. So this will also.
Who is?
For tonight. I'm a little hoarse and a little under the weather, so excuse my voice. But thus far, we've spent, and you should have received a copy. We've spent, okay, y'all ready? Okay. So, thus far, we've spent, $17,250.14 in the utility assistance program. It's a lot of echo.
Yeah, it is.
Do I need to repeat that, or did y'all hear me?
Well, we have the paperwork in front of us also.
So you can see the totals there.
Mm-hmm.
We may have to, and I'm gonna present this to the council, we may have to pause the program. We're running into a problem where we've mailed the utility bills off, and some bills have not been, credited to applicants' accounts. The mayor, myself, Susan, and Karen have all been working together to try to work out why these bills are not being processed. I believe it could be because of the pandemic and not enough people coming in and actually processing checks on a daily basis within the utility company. However, we're gonna look into that to determine what the problem is. It could also be that utility companies, with the exception of WSNB, is not accepting checks from a third party. So we're gonna try to research that, and we may have to pause the program, beginning of February for a couple of weeks to determine where, we'll still be accepting applications, but we won't be processing applications until after we resolve the issue with bills not being posted to people. Payments not being posted to people's accounts. Kim, is there anything else I'm missing?
No, I think that pretty much covers it, as of today. We are getting a pretty, decent turnout, as, mayor and council can see, by the numbers. We got off to a really good start. It's been, I think today has made, 3 solid weeks, that we've been, processing applications, and we've been communicating with, the applicants, as the applications come in. We are seeing that we're having to reach out to probably 85% of the applicants because we're receiving incomplete applications, but we are, on top of that. Councilmember, Stewart and myself, we have a good process going on. And as Councilmember Stewart mentioned, we just need to, dig our heels in and figure out, from the utility standpoint, why it appears that, the majority of the, payments are not being posted. So we'll definitely, work on that and, keep the mayor and council posted.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Councilmember.
All right, does anybody on the council have any questions about the program?
Do you know how the estimate time when the program's gonna be paused?
I would say about 2 weeks, because I want to give an opportunity for the first 3 batches of checks that we send out to actually clear our account. So I'll be checking with the mayor probably every 2 to 3 days to ask her, and I'm going to provide her and Susan with a list of the check numbers that we need to check, to verify that they cleared our account. So maybe 2 weeks, if that long, maybe 7 days, 7 days to 2 weeks.
Thank you.
But like I said, we'll still be receiving applications. We won't stop that process. And we'll keep them in chronological order so that it'll be on a first come, first served basis.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, we're going to continue on down. We have the, item number 2, is the 2023 Raise Grant Program, which we talked about that extensively. Item number 3 is the Maryland General Assembly Legislative Bond Initiative. We've talked about that extensively. The item number 4 is a holiday calendar that everyone have a copy in your box. It just talks about the days that the town holidays, because I think you have probably heard that it's mandatory that we observe 14 holidays here in the town, and those were listed. I don't have my copy of it. Let me see, Miss Span. I don't have my shoes on. Everybody had it in your box? Okay. Okay, I'll just, would you like to read those?
No, I can go get the copies.
Oh, okay, all right. We'll read the dates off as Mrs. Span goes to get those from another office. But the legal holidays for calendar year 2023 for the town of Fairmount Heights are Monday, January the 2nd, 2023, which would be the New Year's holiday. Monday, January 16th, which would be the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. Monday, February the 20th, President's Day. Friday, April 7th, Good Friday. Monday, May 1st, town election. Monday, May 29th, Memorial Day. Monday, June 19th, Juneteenth Day. Tuesday, July the 4th, Independence Day. Monday, September the 4th, Labor Day. Monday, October the 9th, Indigenous Peoples Day. Friday, November the 10th, Veterans Day. Thursday, November 23rd, Thanksgiving Day. Friday, November 24th, day after Thanksgiving. And Monday, December the 25th, Christmas Day. If you all get a chance, if you could just glance through those, if those look okay. I haven't signed this yet, but I'm about to sign this, because I think this is putting us in a good position where our days are spread out and everything is going according to the guidelines. We got 14, and they're looking okay. Anyone else have any other comments concerning this calendar, the legal holidays? Juneteenth is listed, it's Monday, June 19th. Okay, what I will do is accept a motion for adoption of the legal holidays for calendar year 2023. I'll receive a motion now.
I'd like to propose a motion for legal holidays for calendar year 2023.
Okay, so Mayor Martin, both were saying it at the same time. Councilmember Oscar and Councilmember Stewart were saying it at the same time.
Okay, all right, well.
I guess one could first and one could second.
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay.
Councilmember, who said it? The
They were both
councilmember?
saying- I
Oh, at
could
the same
hear
time?
both of them at the same time.
Okay, all right. Well, we could just have 1 second and then the other one do the actual motion.
Okay, so you want to
Yeah,
I'd like to propose a motion for the legal holidays for calendar year 2023.
okay. And can she second it?
there we go.
Okay. All right, are there any questions on the motion? If there are no questions, Madam Clerk to the council, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Mayor Martin,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wader,
Yes.
Councilwoman Stewart,
Yes.
okay, yes. Councilwoman White,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dodson, she said yes. Councilwoman Barnhart,
Yes.
and of course, Councilmember Oscar.
Yes.
Thank you very much. The ayes have it. So our official holiday calendar is here. I just signed it. Okay, our next item, number 5, is the reallocation of arts funds to create a new role, media role within the town. This was proposed by Councilmember White. I think at the time you might have discussed that, Councilmember White. I don't remember the details. But would you like to make a comment on that?
We can push that back. I don't think it was sufficiently discussed.
Okay.
Can I ask a question though?
Mm-hmm.
This is in reference to what art funds?
To the previous, I believe it's 5,000, and we are allowed to reallocate them with a vote. They were not discussed in detail at all.
Yeah, yes, ma'am, they were, we can push it back, but yeah, they were. We've been presenting that in report after report after report. Mr. Rumi just presented it.
No, I don't mean specifically about the terms and what to do with the art funds as they stand. I meant as, and they were not discussed specifically in terms of creating a new role. So yes, Ms. Sarumi did discuss them specifically.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna take this back up again at work session?
Yes.
Did you have another comment on that?
No, we've been talking about the art funds for quite some time. We discussed it when we got them. We proposed the use of the art funds. Mr. Rumi just gave us part of her report as to what we had done. We never, and now that money's gonna be reallocated and taken back for something someone wants to do.
No, it's not. We didn't
Well,
discuss that yet.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to.
Yeah, but I don't understand why we're discussing it when we've been reporting time after time after time. Even when we applied for the funds, didn't you present and the assistance that we could allocate? We've been reporting on that for over a year now. Over a year. And now the council.
I think you already received the check. Right?
Yes, you just reported that, and now the money's going to be, the work was for nothing?
Okay, well, I think, and we can actually put that, we need to remember to put it on the February work session agenda. Okay. All right, we're gonna move on down. I want to go to item number 6, which is the bulk mail reinstatement, and that was Councilmember Wood Dotson that mentioned that. Is she on the line? She's still on?
Yes, that was what I would like to have that to be reinstated. It's just a matter of paying so bulk mail can go out. Seniors are not computer savvy. They're complaining back to back. I'm working with the chief as well, where they are calling me because the flyers, as everyone know, if the rain don't knock them off, the wind take them off. A lot of people aren't getting even what we're doing as far as the, by word of mouth, they're finding out about the money in regard to paying the bills. So just as respect for the seniors, a lot of them are inbound. A lot of them can't get out. A lot of them, aren't knowledgeable of what we have in the town. If we're mailed out, that would be a help. That would be a great help. They said they would greatly appreciate it and feel respected by getting it in the mailbox. At least you know it's there, and when they do get it, they can react to all. Now, as well in my report, I would like to just that is, because it's not mine. I would hope, is it a possibility that can be reinstated? It did very well for the census. As of today, I'm still affiliated with Miss Scott. She even came to my door. We'll be completing the finality of the census where they close for us, and I'll be able to give you a tally of the diverse people. She's going to do a spreadsheet that I can bring in to the next. She said if it's not finished within this month, by February, I'll be able to present it at a work session It comes from the U.S. Department of Commerce. So that will help us as well. What has to be done to reinstate that?
I think the first thing that we need to do is to verify with the Postal Service the procedure that we would need to reinstate it. I don't know whether, when we had it the last time, was it a temporary status or what, but we need to verify with the Postal Service what the procedure is. We might have to go over the whole procedure again.
To my understanding, our paperwork is standard. You pay $250 each time to reinstate it. So I'll check, make sure, and bring that back to the table by our next work session, if I don't get it prior to that. But it would give us a chance, if not but once a month, for everybody to, accumulate what was passed out over time, like the little zip mail and all other little inserts we've gotten as far as giving information out. So more people would probably be in there trying to get the offer money, but like their papers are blown up and down the street. So they are finding out by word of mouth. That's why they're coming in sporadically, but still it's a lot that aren't, because they don't know and they're finding out, and then they're calling me. So it's either I'm going to take them the application, or they are calling either Miss Tucker, I'm sure, is having Public Works carry them to some of their doors, because that's how some of them are getting out.
Ms. Wood-Dalton, if you could provide me with the list as far as for this utility assistance program, I will hand deliver them to the residents that you identify.
Okay, I'll give them to you who's asked, but what I'm saying, some of them are fine. I can't really say each and every one. Those that, as I found out, I pass it on and they get it and you all get it. But what I'm saying is by word of mouth, seniors kind of are like a nest of bees. If I know, and I'm friends with some that are remaining or living or, have family members that intervene on their behalf, that's how I interject and the word of mouth get out. But they're even saying it's a senior base. These are not teenagers that are paying mortgages or taxes. So out of the respect of the elders, anyone, when I came on, 50 and older were considered a senior at the town of Fairmount Heights. So, you're preparing those that are coming, even inheriting, a legacy of by way in which it came or whatever.
Okay,
but
thank you, Councilman. We'll get that ready and get it organized for the February work session. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on down to basically on my report. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the inauguration of Governor Wes Moore. His swearing in was on the 18th at 12 noon down in Annapolis. Because of the fact that I had made the plans to go over to Baltimore for his gala, I did not go to the swearing in, but I was following it on TV. But it was really a very proud moment for all of us as Marylanders and for residents of the town of Fairmount Heights, African Americans in general. It was just a proud moment. So I just wanted to say congratulations to the governor and to his family for a hard race and getting out there, and he won. And we're just here to support him and give him some, backup to let him know that we appreciate him taking a chance on even running, because, looking at it, a lot of times people say, oh, that couldn't happen. Yes, well, it did happen. So congratulations to the governor. I'm going to move on down. I just wanted to talk about that. I think the other items I've talked about in my State of the Town address. I'm going to move down to the council members. And what I would do, I'll go on the line first, and I will get Council Member Stewart, first, then Councilmember Wood Dodson, and then we'll continue for everyone else to have an opportunity if you have anything to report.
When I did it earlier.
Okay, you okay with that? The one.
Man, thank you.
Okay. Are you all right with your report from earlier, Councilmember?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Wood Dodson, are you okay with your report that you gave concerning the reinstatement of the postage? The bulk mail reinstatement?
As well, I had planned to do something, community-wide that we could do, but, a lot of them are saying to wait until the weather is a little more favorable, where more can get out, and those that are closed in might have the ability to come. We want to do something in regard to, we haven't had a gathering, not a Fairmount Heights Day, nor, well, we did go out and feed for Thanksgiving, but to have a massive something where we can come into the building. I do have a contributor, and as you said, favor is falling, so I'll wait until weather is favorable. Maybe we might do something where we can have a tea or some kind of prayer breakfast or something community oriented where everybody can come in and kind of fellowship together. That's what a lot of the seniors and those that I've seen are looking for. They, wonder why we're not doing anything, even though COVID, we could do it on a small scale. So that would be what's projected for me.
All right. Okay.
And the closed closet will be open next month, so February's work session, I'll bring the date.
Okay. Thank you very much. I've been pondering also, normally I will do the Black History Month celebration and the Women's Day celebration, but I think this time, maybe in March, I will just go on and do a Women's Day celebration. We haven't had one because of COVID, and we need to keep those kind of programs. They need to continue to go. I think maybe this time it might be a good idea to sort of cut back on the food aspect of it, because you have so much food. The last time we did have a big Women's Day celebration, I mean, it was beautiful here in the building upstairs, but we had a lot of food that was, not really used because people in the community didn't really come. The majority of the people that came were invited guests from, people that or your family or someone like that. So I might consider doing the Women's Day celebration during the month of March and just doing it at a smaller capacity, but I will discuss that during the February work session. So that's what I have in mind right now. Okay. All right, I'm going to move on down. I think we got Stewart and Wood Dodson, Councilmember Waiters.
Yes. Okay, so economic development, I passed out the same, can you hear me, sir, before? Okay. I passed out the same list of items that I passed out on last month for review, and I'll restate what I said. With the economic development team has been meeting, or committee has been meeting, discussing, we've had, thank you, Madam Mayor, for attending every now and then. The council, I think at one point, Mr. Barnhart's always there, the CDC is there, but we have gotten to a point where we've created like a wish list and discussed some things that we'd like to see moving the town forward in terms of beautification over the years. It has gotten to a point where we now have to present to the mayor and council this list for decision. I think we've gotten to a point where we're looking for fruition. And so I've listed, in terms of economic development, we always mention the 4.4, and I've labeled it a legacy property, a Main Street and annexation, but there's no, we've been talking a long time and there's no action. in doing so and doing that, just those focused areas, it's important for the committees to collaborate with the planning, and I have code enforcement. I want to pause right here and say this. This continues to come up in conversations about ordinances and use and occupancy or, parking. And I have code enforcement because as we expand, it will be a need for services. So that question always comes up about parking, it always comes about ordinances, but we're getting ready to partake in development of 4.4 acres. So what is that going to look like? The feasibility studies, again, in terms of parking, the question is always asked, did we communicate with the people around in that impact area? Well, there's the townhomes right there. There's, throw in the equation, Ebony Inn and the commercial that does exist on the main street. There's the homes that are there. So the general impact area, public safety, again, I've mentioned expansion of services for public safety, parking, that's redundant, the traffic flow, and speed cameras. Is the chief still here?
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back up. Emergency management, I have that on the list. It's a passion of mine, sir, and questions are being asked about. It's not just for the project itself, economic development. That's at a high level. But I put that on here, and I say it passionately because we hear floods, we hear power outages, we hear a lot of things, and we're questioning the safety of this building, but we have no emergency plans in place for emergency removal. So I would really like to talk to you and possibly Councilmember Stewart about our emergency management efforts specifically for the town. But then at the same time, I wanted to make you mindful, help me mindful of the emergency management that needs to be in place as we expand to this property. Again, Public Works will partake in it because of expansion of services and lighting. Lighting tends to be an issue. I think it was mentioned in the work session, the dullness and needs to be lit. But again, that area will need to be lit. Parking and signage, we've already had that conversation. I'm mentioning it again because now it expands over to this property and development. Communications, I have a charrette here, if I spelled it right, and that's the community outreach efforts that we will have to have in place: website, newsletter, social media, community input, data information, and collection. Those are all there because it has been mentioned that we are senior based. We need to pay attention to our census analysis and in order to perform the feasibility studies in that area. It has been mentioned that we need a land use attorney. That is on our radar, but again, it's been mentioned, but the mayor and council needs to take action on two things: land use attorney as well as requests for interest. Project management grants, Mr. Remy has mentioned those. I won't go back into that. The $10,000 Market Circle, you mentioned that. I do have the $5,000 art administration service, again, because it has been discussed before, so there's no surprise. I passed this out last month, and it's on there. It's the same list. IT Solutions, I spoke to Ms. Walker about that, what we need in place for IT Solutions, and I think they were talking about, we refer to them as wireless access points, but throughout the building. Want to mention while we're here, Madam Mayor, you mentioned earlier the Zoom and the storage capacity, or what's happening is every time we have a meeting, it's recorded. Mm-hmm. So when the meeting is recorded, they only allocate a certain amount of space for you to record or to store for storage. Mm-hmm. So we've exceeded the storage. Okay. What has to happen is former recordings have to be deleted in order for you to have or clear up storage space. Wow. Sir? Okay. So therefore, that has been in my, sir. we're going to need to download and transition those to YouTube as soon as possible so that we can clear up the space. I don't know where we are, Dr. Span, on that, but that's the way I wanted to say, since you mentioned it, that's the way to clear it up. So probably prior
We
to,
got to try to work on that, on downloading, the information off Zoom.
you have to download it and then upload it to YouTube. But Mr.
He does that.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, no, he doesn't.
So-
Thank you. So I'm sorry, can I explain? I'm sorry.
Oh, he's got his hand.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say that when you moved over to the delete side, what it does is it holds it for 120 days. So what I suggest is all those meetings be stored on a drive that we can all use, or that you guys can use, and that way it'll clear everything up. You'll have all of the meetings on a drive, and you'll be good. And you'll have storage free.
Thank you.
On the site, so.
Thank you.
Okay.
Which means that we need the cloud storage. Thumb drive is good, but consider cloud storage space.
Okay.
And Dr. Span, to your point, yes, he can, and I think you do that for the town meetings, but the other meetings you do not. The town meetings, in other words, are YouTube, transition to YouTube.
Only for the council meeting.
Right, and that was my point.
Okay.
It's the same process, again, for, all we have to do is just give you the information and have it uploaded to YouTube, correct?
Yeah, all I usually is get it from the council.
That's for the town meeting, not the work session.
Right.
The work sessions are public too. And special meetings are public and you're not here. Do you get my point?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm
because-
saying? Okay.
Because I did contact Zoom, and, actually, they'll say, well, okay, we'll get back to you. One of our representatives will get back to you to do this and do that. And, they never did get back. So we need to try to work on that, because they keep on sending these emails saying, like your memory is just you have too much in your storage. So they wanted to let us know, so to make sure that we're
So
not.
I can tell you, if you do not respond and you don't
Yeah.
start deleting or downloading, they will cut the
They will
recording
cut it.
off. The next time we meet, it will not be recorded.
Yeah, okay. All right, so we gotta get to work on that. Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to make sure that I cover everything before I give. I have continued programming, but I think when I mentioned that, that is in reference to, we've started the utility assistance program, and Mr. Williams mentioned the loan modification program, so I'd just like to see us, no one can come in this building and get assistance with an application, employment, or other services that we should be offering. So I put continued programming there because I think the utility program was off to a great, it is a great start, but we need to continue on. Last but not least, Chief, this bounces back to you. I made my flyer, preliminary flyer. It doesn't have content information in, but it's a suggested date for the bicycle rodeo. June the 3rd. That's a proposed date from 11 to 2. And I'm proposing that date because it's close to the time that the students get out for the summer. They do have a break for the Easter holiday. However, it's kind of sort of hard to plan when students are out of school because a lot of times they're on travel with their parents. So that's the time when they get out of school, and the idea is for to go over safety with them, traffic signals, which they don't really know. But it's kind of sort of like a parade, a pre-trip inspection, and then some incentives. So June 3rd, 11 to 2, if that worked with you. But I'll give you a flyer, and we can kind of sort of put the meeting in this. But I did want to propose to the mayor and council, as well as the chief, the bicycle rodeo as an event in June. As for right now, Madam Mayor, I can't think of anything else.
There is, Madam Mayor, in the chat, there is, that's what I was gonna say, there's a
I have-
question. That's the question.
Is it Mrs.
I thought we were gonna
Sidebacks.
wait for all the questions
Yeah,
to the
are we
to the
good?
end.
For council.
Well, no,
Are we
we're not
to the
ready yet. Just tell her, hold on for a moment.
Who-
Because I need to get the rest of the council members. Councilmember Austin.
Who is asking me
Okay,
a
are you
question?
finished,
It's
Councilmember?
Ms. Side facts.
We'll do it
Are
at
we-
the end.
Okay.
doing that.
What was it for, Councilmember Waiters or for me?
For Ms. Williams.
Oh, okay, okay. She can ask her that then, so we,
Do you want to? Okay.
I thought we, okay.
Ms. Syfax? Yes. Yes.
Yes, Councilwoman Waiters, earlier, during, the town manager's, report, Ms. Rumor's report,
Mm-hmm.
she encouraged the council and told the council that the council needs to hire a consultant to assist us in developing a strategic plan. And she also mentioned that one of the downside of us not already having a plan is that we've missed out on funding, and there's a current project, I think, I couldn't quite hear her, but a house that's going to foreclosure that the town probably could have put to good use.
Mm-hmm.
Now, back in the 2006-2007 timeframe, the town began the process of arriving at a strategic plan with the University of Maryland. And it was a very foundational report. I have not been able to serve on economic development because I have absolutely not agreed with the way it has been going. It's been going in a piecemeal fashion. You just now have said that we're going to work on developing 4.4 acres. Now, it is on the record now by more than just me that in order to do adequate, proper economic development that is going to move the town forward, it needs to be done in a comprehensive, strategic manner, and we need to hire a professional that can do that. To follow up on Mayor Martin's comments on Governor Moore's inauguration.
No, wait a minute, hold on for a second, I'm sorry, Ms. Syfax. Ms. Syfax, because you're asking me a question, but you're referring to something that Mayor Martin says, so I'm asking the question that you have for me.
I'm asking you the question.
But you've just referred to Mayor Martin, I'm confused. Are you asking me?
But did you let me finish because you can't read my mind. Now, at the governor's gala, I ran into former Governor Paris Glendening, and I asked Governor Glendening if he would be interested in working with the town of Fairmount Heights in developing a strategic plan. And he said, yes, he would. He has a group that is nationally recognized called Smart Growth that will contract with the town if the mayor and council and the people of the town want him. And what I am asking you now is, will you consider, in your position as chair of economic development, going about economic development in the way it should be done as pointed out by Mrs. Saruni? And will you drop the idea of a piecemeal development of 4.4 acres? That is not the way to go about economic development. Thank you. Answer my question, please.
First of all, excuse me for laughing, but Ms. Syfax, I say time and time again, and I think you may have missed the first part, we are beyond having economic development meetings just in a silo. We are at a point where we have to, we discussed before, there are pictures over in the corner that we never even look at. So this time for it's not a decision of economic development, me being the chair, it's the community now. There has to be a decision, and you're absolutely right in what you're saying. It's not just me, it's mayor and council and the community that has to make a decision about where the ordinances, and that's why I presented the whole list of things that I have. We've heard you, I've heard you enough. I've heard Mr. Barnhart, I've heard Mr. Rumi, but again, I don't always duplicate Mr. Rumi's report because a portion of her report is economic development. So when I give my report verbally and I make reference or I do not reference what she's already said, it's a duplication. So I heard you, I mentioned the land use attorney, you mentioned that the last time we met. We reiterated that. We understand the need for that. You spoke to Paris Glendenning. We know that we need those things in place, so I've not made a decision to move forward, and per your input, those are the things, I'm glad you said them, but those are the things that the mayor and council have to consider and move forward.
There's one private comment, Councilwoman. You and Mr. Rumi have known this for 15 years. Like I said, this began in 2007. It's been 15 years, and all I'm saying is I'm glad that tonight both of you are going to try to do it right, because we are going to hold you accountable to do it right. Everybody's heard it, it's on the record.
Yeah, well, you hold the mayor and council accountable, ma'am, because I'm not making a decision on my own. You hold the mayor and council.
I'm talking about the town.
Okay, all right. Okay.
I want to move the town forward, and the residents that I have engaged with, and it's been a lot of them over the past year, this is what they want. They want to do things in a world-class, best practice manner. Thank you.
Understood. One of the things that I want to, thanks, Ms. Syfax, that Ms. Syfax is referring to, Madam Mayor, and I'm going to try to get off of this. Mr. Rumi, you're familiar with the Subregion 4 book, the Subregion 4. We had an update of that, was the Blue Corridor. Mr. Rumi gave us the historic booklet for, I can't think of the name, but you can say pattern. We also have been deemed a historic district. It's been conversation. We're not doing anything with it. And I think that's what Ms. Syfax is saying, and that's also what I am saying. We're talking, we present, no one's reading the book, no one's looking at the documents over there that's been presented. Maryland University has been here several times presenting proposed plans to us, and we do nothing with it. Annexation. We're talking about annexation, we talk about it, we've been talking about that forever and a day, but nobody ever wanted to do anything but annex Marblewood because of the commercial property over there, or the commercial, some say it's dirty, some say it's not, or whatever, but that's it. Well, in my talking to the senator, and the last time she was here, an extended conversation, to annex down Sheriff Road, this is a repeated conversation as well, puts us in a split district if we do both sides. That's another extended conversation, and that is beyond me. So again, I thank Ms. Syfax for her input, but it is at a point where this is not Economic Development Committee meeting conversations anymore. We've had them. We're presenting the conversations to the mayor and council to move forward.
Okay.
We talked about, and I want to put this in the equation too, we were deemed a property on K Street to resolve parking. We've done nothing with that.
The only thing
Not even
we've done
cleared
is
it off.
cut the tree down. It's clean. It's clean right now. It's, like I said, the only thing there is a stump.
Well, that's
But
an example.
we need to move forward with actually doing something with that.
Yep.
That
Well,
lot.
I just wanted to say that that's an
Yeah.
example of, we have property, it was deemed for this, we got it, we didn't pay anything for it, it was for this purpose, but we've done nothing. For the
Yeah.
tree, it's not been cleared off, it's not been paid for parking.
Yeah.
So
Okay. All right. So that's another thing that we're gonna have to try to find some solutions for. We're gonna have to.
That's it.
Okay.
That's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Oscar?
Oh, yeah, I don't have much to share. I just want to say that we are, from the Public Works Department, we are starting up in a very positive direction. And in spite of the fact that the weather has been very, I would say, nice and pleasant, we got to keep our fingers crossed because, well, even if we are on inclement weather or snow accumulation, I think we're in a very good position
to handle any any such terrible weather. It's also exciting to hear that from the Treasury that we're moving forward to purchasing those vehicles. I'm sure the team would be very excited and motivated to add that to their inventory. And we are looking forward to the team rendering good service during rendering to the community a good spring cleanup. So we're looking forward to that, and with the new equipment, I'm sure that would be easily done. So bravo to the town manager and for handling those aspects of it and taking care of the guys.
Okay.
That's all.
All right, thank you. Okay. Yes.
I realize I left that something very important. We're talking spring cleanup. April 20th, and that's always the same day, is Earth Day.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll have to work with you and get with you, and perhaps, we've always been in the past, we can clean up Earth Day. So that's coming up, but I'll need more information as we move forward. Thank you.
So it's like a community cleanup on that particular. Okay. Okay. Everyone comes out and.
Clean up. Clean up the lead, go to these. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, council member.
Question from Councilwoman Wood Dodson.
Okay.
I have a question. I guess this would go to Oscar. The people on my street are wondering, the rain is getting ready to start. We've had a lot of floods along here. Is it a way that right in front of 702, where that drain is, over the years they've asked, what can cover the drain to keep debris from going down? Because when the water backs up, it backs all the way past my house, all the way to 710. So is there anything that can cover the break? I know Miss Lonnie, I can't think of the public works man, I know he gets hard of cleaning it. Because when it rains, which is going to rain tomorrow, the debris from Eastern Avenue comes down the hill and it blocks that drain, everything from a soda bottle to you name it. So is it anything that can cover that manhole? It's like big pipes, some kind of screen or something where it can be taken off, or maybe they can find, like in a lot of communities, they have the sleeves with pebbles and rocks. On the opposite side where the monument is, you find the same thing. When the water comes, that's how the puddles of ice always frame right where it does. It's nothing to make the water go to the Chesapeake, where they get ready to paint the holes yellow and blue or whatever. The paint look good, but it don't look good with trash and debris hanging out of it. So can that be looked at from a public work perspective?
That would be kind of difficult. From what you're saying, the natural flow of the water, if we can control it, and I'm thinking if you have to cover the grid, that would mean further restriction for the water to actually escape, because the debris is going to be there anyway. It's just less room if you cover the grid. What I say we can probably do is probably have.
Fix the water.
It
will block the debris. It will not restrict the water. Over the years, they've been saying, Purvis, Brown, and all this, those two drains are devastated. And like I said, you have a public work person that can tell you right at 702 59th Avenue, where the stop sign is needed, how the water and all the debris, he I'm sure he would appreciate some kind of apparatus, a grate or some kind of chicken wire, anything to keep it from going down in there, because it blocks right there in his driveway.
Okay. Okay, that's something we can definitely look into, what size of wire we can actually put through the debris. But I'm thinking a more practical way of approaching that issue is to street cleanup, because whatever is on the street, be it the leaves, bottles, that's what clogs the drain. So if we can be on top of cleaning the street, then that would mean less debris going down the.
I understand that. Even if the street is clean, what I'm trying to tell you, from Eastern Avenue, as I speak, they're night walkers. So if the street is clean when you go to bed at 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock, like Mr. Pinckney even said about walking your dog at 12 to 1, the transvestites are up here.
Lord.
As I speak, when you leave the meeting, go that way, you'll see them. And if it rains, I guarantee you cups and anything that you can imagine with your mind is going to come down the street. And if it don't get caught in the drain, it will be caught in front of our house, and we'll be picking it up. So what I'm saying, it's not so much as the pickup as finally we can find something to stop the debris from going into the Chesapeake. I've said this before, but now that we are on cleaning and doing and everything else, maybe you can find something to stop that from, just visit and you can see it. I'll show it to you.
Councilmember Dawson, I have a question. Does this public works know of any other area in the town of Fairmount Heights that's flooding? Because we will also try to purchase a catch basin. It's like a cage that covers up the drainage so debris won't fall down into the sewer to stop the flooding.
It's not so much, I'm not speaking of the flooding, I'm speaking of debris.
Which causes the flooding. Which causes the flooding.
Is when it rains. Like when it rains, it's going to come down the street and it's going to end up right there, a pile. Right now, if you come and where the motorcycle is parked right at the end of my driveway on the opposite side, it's been there for almost 2 years now. And it's leaves, it's everything else. It's a pile right there.
Okay, so, we'll consider that, and we'll try to make, we'll take actions where we can.
Yeah, we can investigate.
Okay.
We can investigate. All right. Okay. Thank you. All right, we can investigate that. All right, Councilmember White.
Good evening, Susan. So, a few things have happened, in terms of improving, my knowledge with Fairmount City Town. I've been taking grants, and legislature writing classes, so I can better, help and speak to everyone. But I've also got in touch with Mr. Ruffin from Petco, So I've also gotten in touch with Mr. Ruffin from Pepco, so we can get these street lamps and the lights behind the building, the municipal building, as well as the, not pergola, like the porch lights. I forgot the name for it, but I've spoken with him about that. And as far as the street lamps, in the previous meetings, we've heard a lot about the street lamps not working correctly. I took the initiative Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night to drive around so I could see, which ones were messed up. Because I know personally mine is messed up, but I can't call, saying, oh, I have one street lamp that isn't working. And the problem that I observed was the street lamps will work for like an hour and then they'll flicker and then they'll go out. So I really, really need If you see a street lamp out, please take note of it. Because also on their gridding system, and this is more so Pepco's problem than ours, whereas we have a numbering system on the street lamps, but they don't know where the street lamps are. That's not our problem, that's their problem. So I'll be working with Mr. Ruffin very soon to gain control of that. Also, the lights behind the building, because we do have that brand new charging station out there. And besides keeping our citizens safe from the standpoint of, the mechanisms and the machinery to charge, we don't want anyone disrupting or vandalizing that as well. As far as a few announcements, there's a Youth and Adult Career Symposium at the Southern Regional Technology and Recreation Complex on February 28th from 3 to 7 in Fort Washington, as well as an OHRM hiring event on January 31st at PGCC from 10 to 2 p.m. I'm sorry, I'm taking some of her announcements, but it's only 2 and they're very important to me. And also for Councilwoman Waiters was talking about our emergency responses. That also involves attaining or building a community emergency response team. So in the very near future, we'll be working on that as well. And I would also like to talk about this clothes closet as well. It will be opening again next month. And along with that, we hope to add new sustainable items such as tote bags and things like that. I think, everyone could use, even if they don't necessarily have the need for clothing or other home good items. And one last thing I want to talk about is our outreach to the Hispanic community. I would really, really like tips if anyone knows how to approach this. Specifically, when we're talking about the utility program, I have a box of flyers in my trunk. And when I can, I'll go out and knock on doors. And a lot of our Hispanic community is, these are our neighbors. I see them every day and they're saying, oh, I don't live here because, when I say I'm part of the government, they might be a little leery. So I really would just like to make it known that we are trying to do some outreach, and any tips would be very helpful concerning that.
Contact the school.
Oh, the school.
The schools have, are you finished?
I just have one more announcement, but you can make it if you.
No, I'm just to what you just said, so you can make it, I'm just you said the outreach part, just to answer that. I don't want to belabor what you're the report though. So the outreach part, the schools have a community liaison. That's usually that a buffer between the community and the schools to identify resources.
Okay, thank you so much. And yeah, I'm sorry, I got a little off task. Just this one last thing. Let me see where the camera is. The Latino Business Roundtable is coming up tomorrow on January 25th, 2023 at 3 p.m. We have a large Hispanic population in our neighborhood. And so I really encourage if any of your neighbors know anyone to have them come out to this. But thank you so much and have a good night.
What's the location for the meeting?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. So it is, I forgot where it is. Azteca Restaurant, 9505 Baltimore Avenue, College Park. And guys, it's a really good restaurant, so please make sure to come on out.
I have a Councilmember White.
Yes.
In terms of lighting, and this is a different vendor. Maryland National Park and Planning. I'm sorry, and I did find that I was trying to make reference to the homeowners assistance program. We do have the cards out there. The park, the North Park at Sheriff and Addison Road is extremely dark.
Extremely.
And I know that they, you know, for the sake of dusk, you know, the park's not open after dusk, but that's not the case. The lights just never come on. So I'm asking if you could put that on your radar as well, because that is an area that, Chief,
Doesn't Addison Road and Sheriff?
Addison and Sheriff,
corner.
it's, yes, sir, pitch black. It's absolutely pitch black.
Yeah.
At night.
I have a contact at Park Police. I'll make a call as well.
Yeah, it's just to see if, I know that the lights are out, but my point is, we need to get the lights on for safety purposes. We need to address that, because some agreement or whatever, I don't know. And I appreciate what you just said, Chief, but we need to figure out how they're going to get them to turn those lights on.
Yeah.
Period.
And it's a big problem. And one thing that they did mention is that they kept those lights turned off after dark, because there was so much activity. The more they had the lights, the more activity was being centered around that. Because, you know, that's a big hangout spot because of Ebony Inn and everything. So they started just cutting the lights off.
Right.
That was what I heard Park and Planning.
The lights are on the court, but if you walk a certain distance into the field, it's black. It's pitch black. So I'm not, again, it's the light in the safe area. That I'm talking about, not the basketball. I see the basketball court.
We definitely need to get on that too, because if we're also going to increase the usability of that park, like say a walking track in the future and things, you need lighting. So that's a very good location and point.
And it also needs to be gated around the side.
Like it used to when it had the batting cage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Was that it for you, Councilman?
Yes.
We have a question in the audience and a question.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Yes.
The update on the local library station.
The free book library. Yeah, I'm sorry, the little free library. So if you all would like me to, I know I mentioned it a couple of months ago, but to build one is cheaper. I actually did the specs for it. Is about, I believe, $100, and to actually purchase one from Little Free Library is $180. So there's a network of them, and it costs $40 to join the network. And so basically how people find them, if you're not walking around the neighborhood, there's like a map of them. Kind of in the way you have like the car chargers. It's like a map of the Little Free Libraries. So if you all would like to move forward, and we can talk about this more, I can add it to the agenda for Thursday. I would like to have some, and I'm sure you all would too. So that's just something to think about. I'll get that sent over in the morning so we can all think about it a little bit more. But yeah.
Well, why don't we just add it to the February agenda to make it better, because actually we're supposed to be coming here for really 2 items on Thursday. And, you know, it's better if we come for our items, and as promised, we just sort of, anything that's going to take a little bit of research, if we could just add it to the February agenda, it'd probably make it better.
Okay.
And you have a few weeks or so to do the research on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Mayor Martin. There is a question with Ken Gladden.
Okay.
Me too.
Okay, Councilwoman White.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. So this is from Ms. Gladden. Has Chief considered recruiting a Hispanic or bilingual officer or police department liaison? Oftentimes, Hispanics are more comfortable opening up to their peers.
You want me to come up there as well?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes, I have been in contact with a young man that's actually currently in the police academy right now. He does not graduate until June. So we have weekly text messages just keeping me updated on his status. It's actually 3 of them that's in the academy. So during this process, this is kind of like this is a dogfight out here between all these municipalities, and then we got DC in the mix. We got PG County Sheriff, Park Police, County Police. So I got to kind of muscle my way in to make sure that I'm in contact with these people weekly. Let them know that, hey, we want you here to town Fairmount Heights. I'm interested in how you're doing. Do you need any advice on how to take on field events or your EVOC training and stuff like that? So just giving them inspiration, you know, as they get through. Going through the academy is pretty tough. It's very stressful. And it's kind of like, look, I got to get through here because I got to get a job. So they got to get through. So I have been in contact with one young man who is Hispanic, and he reached out to us, actually.
Oh, okay.
So everybody who I've been in contact with, they reached out to me. So they show interest, so we're showing them interest.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, because I think it's been a while. I think we did have one, and I can't remember who the chief was at the time. He was a reserve. He was a reserve that was here. It's been quite a few years ago, but he worked out well. He worked out very well. That's been probably even before your time, Mr. Roman, that we had one guy here. Okay. All right, thank you all. So I think Councilmember Barnhart, you were probably the last person.
Good evening, everyone. I don't have much to report. Most of my report is going to be done really on Black History Month, which is next month in February. But I do have a youth from the community is willing to come and do a Black History moment for us on February 15th. Who am I? I asked her, and she was more than welcome to come to the town and actually present a Black History moment. I reached out to the town of Fairmount Heights Library with a librarian. They won't reopen until April, no later than May, due to the reconstruction as far as the roof and everything else that's taking place at the library. So the library will be out until April or May this year. Public Playhouse is having a Black History in Motion, February 10th from 10:30 to 12. The address is 5445 Landover Road in Cheverly, Maryland. It costs us $7 per person. You can actually purchase your ticket on through Parks. You can also email them for more information. Congratulations to Pastor Herman Hawkins, which is the new pastor of Silver Vista Baptist Church. I'm also a member of that church and coordinates with the youth ministry at the church as well. They is having pizza with the pastor on January 27th from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. At the church this coming Friday. Also, his initial sermon is January 28th at 10 a.m. In Upper Marlboro, Maryland. All the council and the community is more than welcome to come, and he's having his sermon again on Sunday at Silver Vista Baptist Church. And that's the end of my report.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Roman.
And perhaps I missed it, but who won the Christmas gathering?
We had two homes on Foot Street that won and the house on 59th one. They didn't want their address to be displayed or their photos put up. So what I'm going to do this year in regards to that, I'm going to have people actually come in and sign up. So they will be announced and their pictures will be shown on Facebook.
I know toward the end, but I go out every night before I go home. The decorations are even more beautiful.
Yeah.
So I think we can work at that.
Yeah, we'll work on it. Especially for next year, we'll actually do a application for those who want their house on display, come in and get the address and stuff. So we'll do it even better this year.
Okay.
The fire trucks. Christmas.
We could not get those fire trucks this
Yeah,
year. I
you
want
did.
them
You
this
did.
year.
You missed it.
I missed it.
You missed it. Yeah, you missed
Okay.
it.
I
I
heard
made a
about
huge
that
fire truck.
fire
I don't know
I
who
didn't hear it.
coordinated it, Chief, if you did, but, and that was one of the things that I was saying, we
Okay.
didn't know about it, but they did, I recorded it. They did come through. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you was grabbing myself, I'm sorry. They did come through, I believe it was New Year's Eve. A couple of people up on the truck, they came through, circled around throughout the community.
Okay.
So, whoever, I know we talked about it, but whoever coordinated it, maybe it was already in place, we didn't know about it, but they did come through.
Okay.
What was it? The one right here on Sheriff Road?
Yes.
we can actually coordinate with them like in September to get a head start and do a nice little parade for them.
Yeah. It was, what did Santa, I was looking for Santa. There was no Santa,
No
but.
Santa.
Yeah,
Just the truck.
Yeah, the truck did come
Yeah.
through. Thank you. Thank you.
That was good. That was good. All right, thank you all very much for your reports. Are there any other members, community members that
I'm looking now.
want to
Mayor,
have?
I don't.
Because they've had an opportunity. Yeah, okay. All right, that's right, I forgot. Mr. Barnhart is back there. Mr. Barnhart? Uh-huh. Okay. That is too much. Ooh-wee.
Good evening, everyone. Martez Barnhart, President of Citizens Association here in Fairmount Heights. Councilwoman White touched on a lot of things that we were receiving complaints about the lighting around the town. Just elaborate a little bit, like Councilwoman Barnhart said, I walk my dog a lot at night. The charging station is very dark. It's unsafe. If I had a Tesla or a, electrical vehicle, I would not charge it. I would keep on riding. Around the building as a whole, if somebody wanted to conduct a crime or anything, they could do it right here, because it's dark. It's just that dark when you walk around here at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. So I hope, that right there, along with the, sprinklers and fire alarms and outlets can be addressed too, because, this is supposed to be a safe haven. If people have issues, they should be able to come up on this property and be lit like a 7-Eleven or tobacco shop with all them LED lights. We should be the same way. So I'm glad Councilwoman Barnhart did touch on that. Our main concern is we've been talking about this for a while, and we haven't got any feedback from the mayor and council about it. We gave a survey for the project at the Melvin's Crab House project for UCAP. I have noticed, and I do understand that, some of this stuff is out of people's parameters, but I do think that, it's some things that's being done that we just don't know about at this time, as far as development, permits and things like that, and we need to have some updates about that. We know they bought the property. We know they planning on doing something with it. But as a community and as residents, we should be informed about what's coming to our community. We've been talking about land use attorney for a while. The land use attorney coming from the Citizen Association wasn't based on just the 4.4. It wasn't based on just, in the town, building tiny houses. It was mentioned so we would have an idea of how we can regulate the building and structure and development in our town. We are an historic district, so being as though we are a historic district and a municipality, we can create our own rules and laws. You go to the county, you ask them anything about what's going on in Fairmount Heights, they easily tell you that you're your own government. You go to the Board of Elections, you ask them anything about election-wise, you're your own government. That's what they would say. That's the purpose of asking for a land use attorney, not only just for the 4.4 tiny house, anything else. It was to get consultant or get some information from a legal standpoint about when you have major developers and nonprofits, such as UCAP or any others, how we can regulate the building in our town. Okay? So I hope, can we get an answer on that by next meeting? Hopefully.
Okay.
Because it was surveys turned in to the mayor and council, 2 meetings ago? And I don't think we even got a response on that yet.
Okay. Now, somebody, I think, was supposed to make the copies because the original copy never did come to my attention.
Okay.
I was sitting here when it was passed, and I think somebody was supposed to go in the back and make the copies, but it still hasn't gotten to my attention. So I'll see if we can get our hands on it.
Okay.
I think it was last month, that, I don't know whether somebody had reached out to Mrs. Capers to say that they probably had some kind of meeting scheduled, but she did investigate, she went to, or she reached out to UCAP directors and everything. They said, no, we don't have a meeting. There's nothing coming out. We have, the last thing that we've heard is when we had the Zoom call with UCAP.
Right.
That's all we've heard.
Yeah, I think from a government business aspect of that, I think that's kind of like, it's not good. I'm gonna say it like that. It's not good that you have proposed projects with no consistency of updates. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm bringing a multi-million-dollar project to your community, I would think every quarter I would have an update for you. It's just like, it's just up in the air. It's just like, we gonna wake up one day and then we just gonna start seeing development, or, you know, next month they're gonna say, hey, you know, starting in such and such day, we gonna get started. You know, it should be, I mean, this our house. I'm looking at this our house. So if that's gonna be done, it should be done properly, where so that we get informed about what's going on. You know, especially with people that live in those impacted areas, they wanna know. You know, I hope people always look at it in a way where as though, look at these projects and look at, you know, incidents in the towns like you live there. You know what I mean? Put your house where these projects are going at and see what these people are gonna feel knowing what's coming to them. Because I know when net zero was coming, I said, you know what, nothing I could do about it. You know, it's already been done. But that's gonna be an impact too. Even though these gonna be beautiful homes, that's 6 houses right next door to my house on a tight street as it is. So just imagine the people down there by Melville's gonna have that big building put right there, no parking regulations done, no planning, no nothing going on, you know, about, you know, future-wise. So that's it with that. Other than that right there, the Citizen Association, we're gonna be conducting our meetings every quarterly. January 30th is our first meeting. That's gonna be a structured meeting. We're gonna talk about you know, what the association will be doing moving forward for the year. And we're also going to be talking about our upcoming events. So we would like to get with Mayor and Council, Councilwoman Barnhart and Miss Councilwoman Wood Dawson, because, I mean, we in January now. If we're going to start scheduling events, we need to start putting them on the book so we won't be all over the place about when the fish fry going to be, or when the ice cream social going to be, or when Fairmount Heights Day is coming. I mean, if we're going to do these things, we need to kind of plan them out so, you know, the citizens can be involved instead of, you know, flyers going out 30 days prior to say, oh, we doing the fish fry. You know, if they know if it's 2-3 months ahead, then that's ample enough time. So hopefully we can work on that by next meeting, you know, as far as getting a schedule about these events. Other than that, that's all I have.
Okay.
Is it? Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Well, I think do we have anyone else that's on the line? I think we've
There's
had.
a comment, Mayor.
Okay.
From Mrs. Capers.
Uh-huh.
No, from Ms. Capers.
Okay.
And she says, and I'm guessing this is this on? Okay. This is in reply to the development concerning UCAP. Isn't that what economic development is for? Economic development will write legislation that each builder, and she doesn't write anything else, but I'm going to guess that she's saying economic development will write legislation that each builder will, I guess, go by. That would be their standards or so. So.
Okay. So she just wanted to make a comment.
It's the Economic Development Committee, because we don't write legislation. That's the Mayor and Council, so I don't think that was. I will say that Ms. Capers did call me over the weekend concerned with, once again, not to repeat the conversation, but the concern is reiterated here. What are we going to do about economic development? And I could only reiterate what I just said, the same thing I said in this meeting is exactly what I told her.
Okay.
Also, another thing, as a town, we don't have zoning rights. The only municipality that has that in PG County, I believe, is Laurel. So that's something to look into, because if they have it, maybe we could get it if we want it, or there's some other solution to that as well.
And then along with that comes the resources to back it up, because that's going to be a tremendous job for us to handle that aspect. The zoning is going to really, well, for one thing, I don't know whether there's a certain, as far as sizing of communities, you know how large your community is, but to have that zoning authority, they would put us in an altogether different field, you know. But that's just my look at it. But I just wanted to add that I think we have actually, Mr. Sheffield, did you have something that you want to say?
You know, you had a situation where I believe it was addressed. You,
Okay.
To the podium.
Me?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
As far as water, that was too much water going into the drain,
Right.
that's water, but trash as well.
Right.
Have you ever looked into the problem, have you ever looked into the solution of putting a erosion control device there?
Okay.
Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, storm and flood control.
There's different types.
Yeah, there's different
Now,
types, yeah.
you could use like a chicken wire. Are you familiar with your chicken
Yeah,
wire?
that's actually what I thought,
And
yeah.
putting large aggregates in there. That allows water to flow in and trash to stay out.
Okay.
You can tie it in with stakes.
But the thing is that also you don't have just one type of debris. You also have fine sediments coming through. So any accumulation of fine sediments, no matter what, it's gonna clog it's gonna stay between the stones or whatever it is. So like you said, it's temporary. It can be removed,
Yeah,
clean.
temporary.
As long as we have proper maintenance, we can take those measures. Yes.
Right. And that was just mainly addressing the problem with the trash going into the catch basin and clogging that up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And thank you for that, Mr. Sheffield. We also have to encourage our citizens to if you walk out in the front of your house and you see a bottle laying in the street, please take it and drop it in your recycling bin. People just walk, you see it all the time. Things are just thrown out and nobody really cleans up behind, whoever's doing all the littering. If we could sort of have people take a good personal interest in trying to keep your area, each person keep their own areas clean, we'll have less of a problem. Because I see it all the time, and like you said, it's getting ready to pour down rain. That's the time when everything is going straight into that drain, big and small. Those things go right in, because I know down at the end of 60th, we always have that problem.
Right. Well, like you said, that's where the problem is. It boils down to the individuals.
Yeah.
And contributing to litter, and once that can be curbed, but we have no control over human activity.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's a difficult situation. I mean, awareness, we can make it aware, put flyers up, educate the community and, about trash.
Yeah.
And I think that would be an effective solution also. So that would minimize the trash and then make it more tractable.
Or get stationary trash cans put around the community.
Yeah.
That'll calm down a lot of trash.
And a lot of those, we can, like the compactor ones, didn't see Pleasant get those on the grant?
Yep, trash cans.
Okay. All right, so
All right.
we can look at some other things, but yes, thank you for that. I think that just about covers what we need to do for this evening. And I want to thank everyone for your input. I want to thank everyone for attending, because it becomes much easier when we sort of have the group that we can work within a certain parameter. We have to go for the lines and for this and that. Sometimes it can be difficult. But I think we worked through most of our issues tonight, and I want to thank everyone. Thank you for coming. happy 2023. And at this time, I will accept a motion for adjournment.
I'm sorry.
Excuse me.
Sorry, y'all. I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
Councilwoman Wood Dotson seconded.
Okay. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you all very much. We're adjourning at, I think that's 10 minutes to 11.